saying Mike Raglan. Are you shorting it up, Rags? Maybe because you dress, you know what I'm saying, you dress cool or whatever. But they be like, hell no. And even when I rant, like I've heard people like jokingly say, "No, you a know it all." Like I don't know a lot of shit. The more that I go and seek knowledge, the more I realize it's a lot of shit I don't know. I know you hating that I'm up. Always 1,000 Michaels everywhere, so just always be able to go Mike Rags, you know, just stuff. That's how I came up with the Rags. My price is gone. You know what time it is? Shirt.
Oh, okay.
It's your boy Mike Rags. I'm in here with Big Gats. And then I got my girl Jazz, man. This is the first time we've been able to meet in person and have some of the great dialogue that we have.
Oh, for real?
Instagram. Yes.
Okay.
But we talk
go,
like we
all the time.
Yeah.
Like we know each other. Like we go edit on Instagram.
See,
Well, I ain't gonna say we go
y'all were
edit.
at Bama at the same time, so I figure
but
y'all
you
cross
know,
paths.
We probably did cross paths. We had to at a certain point, but
I was a nerd.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
My second semester. I made sure I had class on Tuesday and Thursday so I could play Halo from Friday to Monday. Like, I was in my dorm.
And see, back then, I was barely on campus. So, for a while, it got real. Life took me real fast up there at Bama. But, man, I've been waiting to have this conversation with you, or these conversations, because I do enjoy, and contrary to popular belief, I do not like to argue, nor do I necessarily like to debate. I do enjoy hearing different perspectives and then sharing mine. And then if we agree, we agree. If we don't, then let's agree to disagree. And I think we do that well. Mm-hmm. And there are a few other folks that I can do that with via Instagram, other platforms like that I have like real good debates. You know, iron sharpens iron. Like it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she told me some shit that I need to go, oh, let me go think about this, or let me think about it that way. Like the Cosby situation, for one example.
And I respect that. Like, if you're open to changing your mind once you're presented with new information, that's all it is. I feel like we're all a bunch of hypocrites. Yeah. Because it's at one point we were into one thing, and then some life presented itself, and then we changed our mind. So, I think like social media and having that dialogue and like comment sections don't leave any room for that.
Right.
Life.
Yeah. It's it's real judgy on social media for the most part, especially on the comments. And then people live in an idealistic like kind of mindset when it comes to how the world works. And there are things that we should strive for, but then there are realities too. So like while we're striving for these ideals, let's, you know what I'm saying, accept these realities of what's going on. I think that's a big line that's getting blurred a lot, you know what I'm saying, with maybe the presence of social media being such a big driving force in our community now. So I just, you know, it's hard to have good, thorough conversations on the internet, you know what I'm saying, to be able to share your opinion. So
yeah, because everything is like me versus you instead of us trying to like actually have a conversation.
Right.
So I have to oppose what you're thinking, even if even if you say something and I may think like, oh, that actually makes sense. No, I can't agree with you.
Right.
And it's the nuance that's missing, right? Because life is not black and white.
Yeah.
It's not this or that. There's a lot of gray.
And
people are, I think, afraid of the gray, honestly. It's easier to sleep at night if this is this all the time and that is that all the time.
Right.
If there's gray, then my mind I can't figure it out. I don't understand what's happening, and then you get
we feel what we don't know.
Yeah, you feel it, right?
Yeah, we feel what we don't know.
Right.
I'm sure with you all, because both of you all are married. So with you all, I know going into that, because I don't know what's on the other side. I'm still single, and I don't want to know what's on the other side right now. But I'm sure y'all were like scared, you know, going into that. And I know y'all probably have two different stories, but I would like to hear, you know what I'm saying, how it was for you. How did you all approach?
Yeah, ladies first.
Well, so before I met my husband, I was doing my own thing. Like I was just waiting for the person that was gonna make me stop doing my own thing. So we started dating when I was about to be a junior at UA.
Okay.
And we were both in college. And I graduated a semester before him, and I was like, well, look, I'm trying to move to Atlanta. So I took this internship at Verizon, and they offered me a job, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But if you want to come with me, we got to be married. Like, I'm not about to move to another state and at 23, play house and do all the things that married people do and not be getting any of the benefit of being married. Because there are benefits. Like,
right, for sure.
If you're going to involve the government, get the benefits,
right,
okay? But it was a no-brainer because we were in love. So I feel like you just have to find the person, whatever it looks like. When we first started dating, like I said, he's 7 years older than me. I was 20 when we started dating. So my dad was like, who is this grown man? Right. But my mom was like, sometimes you gotta get him a little older from that grade, Yeah. But so it was weird because I was like, okay, I don't know how they're gonna react to the age gap, and then my whole apartment complex was leveled in those tornadoes.
Okay, yeah, back then.
Right. So I'd only been living there a semester. It was my first apartment. And so I was like, okay, now I'm like virtually homeless. I could just like move back home or like get my own place. I was like, I don't want to move back home. I got a taste of freedom, like I don't want to move back in the house. So I was thinking about getting an apartment, down the street from my parents' house in Hoover. But then Bobby lived in an apartment on the south side. Like that apartment was probably big as his room. It was tiny. It was probably like the whole apartment was probably 600 square feet. And like the bathroom, the length of it was the same length of the tub. Like two people couldn't be in the bathroom at the same time.
Okay.
Tiny old building. I'm pretty sure it was haunted. Yeah, it was definitely haunted. Okay. But I was like, okay, get this nice apartment that I could totally afford because I was working at Vulcan. So I was like, I got money. That's when I went and got a car and all that. But I was like, I'm gonna give this like living with Bobby a try. Like we're gonna be at each other's place anyway, all the time. So let me give it a try. If it don't work, move back in with my mom. It's not a big deal. So we tried that, and it was like a lot of fights. We live right by Highland Park.
Okay, yeah.
And so I used to just like leave and walk to Highland Park. Just like cool off. But I think that when you're talking about getting married, you just have to think about like all the that superficial stuff that initially attracts you to somebody will eventually like not matter. Right. Like this man has seen me cut open twice and had babies taken out of me, like real life stuff. Like, and you gotta be that advocate for your spouse, right. And I mean that's really what it's about. It's really about finding the person that you're willing to go through all that life stuff with and cry and be not who you were when you first started dating around, because that stuff is gonna fall by the wayside real quick when you're presented with all these things that everyone, like parents getting older, people dying around you, like stuff like that people I don't even think people talk about now. When I hear about like dating now, I'm just like, do y'all even think about like all the real life shit you're gonna go through? Not how much money he makes right now. Like they out here printing money. We may be trading like freaking pebbles and stones in a minute. Like this money, like that. It's stuff like that. It may not even mean anything by the time y'all are like well into your marriage. So
that's real. Yeah. I'm gonna touch on that on this dating scene because it's different.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with a lot of what Jasmine said. I remember not knowing what to expect going in. And my father-in-law, this was like 10 minutes before our wedding ceremony started. We're taking pictures, and he's like, you hadn't seen nothing yet. I was like, is your daughter about to turn into an alien?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I would freak out if someone said it to me.
There's a picture of me like as he's telling me this, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Right. So the cold feet are real, all that stuff. But man, I've been married 12 years, and I look at all the changes, kind of like what you're talking about, and you go in thinking, okay, I'm gonna run this household this way, and then life has a way of adjusting how you feel like you're gonna run the house, you know. And then, like you said, I mean, you got 2 kids as well. With each kid, everything changes, right? And so, I was a person who was change resistant when I got married. I was just like, let's set up a structure and let's just keep doing it like this until the end of time. I mean, that's how dumb I was, you know. And it was just like, it's gonna be
easy to do when you're single. When it's just you.
The simple life, you know.
Yep.
But now life happens, real life stuff like you're talking about, with just things nobody tells you about, you know. And I see why there's no manual to it because it's so different in each situation. But I can attribute a lot of my growth to being married, you know, because there are times, you know, like I said, a lot of stuff you're not prepared for. But there are times you have to just generate something from within that you didn't even think you had for the sake of this home you've created, right? So I attribute a lot of that growth to marriage. And I used to be this guy that was, you know, once I got married, I felt like everybody needed to get married. You know, no matter how bad it was at home, no matter if we, you know, like you said, because the arguments are just like there's too many to keep track of. But even in that element, I'm like, you know, if I come across a single dude like you about to get married, you know, you about to. But you know,
I feel like you gotta warn them like your father-in-law.
But and I guess you want to share the misery with somebody. But I don't know, man. I kind of respect where younger generations are coming from, and like I used to be confusing to me, like why younger people aren't flocking to get married. But I guess my heart and my ears are more open to that, and I'm more understanding, and I respect it. And I'm not as quick to say, "Oh, you single? Go find you girl to live," because it's not that type of game. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my marriage. Was that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Not trying to say too much, you know.
No, I mean I agree, and I feel like having to adjust your expectations, constantly, is something that you should adapt to. Like first kid, I was like, I had midwives. I'm about to have a water birth. It's about to be all natural and Did not go that way at all. And then you feel like just a complete failure. And so I think like in marriage, it's the same thing. Like you have all these expectations about how you're going to run your household, who's going to do this, who's going to be responsible for that. And then COVID happens. And now you just got to turn all that upside down because, like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Like for real, you talk about, and I'll share this. I don't keep this from anybody when I have the conversation. But you talk about having real thoughts about like stepping away from everything when COVID hit, like just the emotional toll it took. Yeah. And
I know a few people that got like divorced and separated. During
man,
COVID.
but I get it.
We had like a whole breakthrough in our marriage during COVID. Like I feel like we were just going through the motions and getting up, going to work, dropping the kid off, come home, go to sleep. It was like a routine, just on repeat, right? Yeah. And then COVID happened. Now we both at home together, looking at each other like.
When you gonna leave?
Like we're looking at each other like our dog looking at us like, why y'all still here? I'm usually like all over all the couches and beds by now. But like we just had to like be like it was so funny, like we had this whole little crying session. Well, I did. And then we went to the park, went to Piedmont Park and got like these 32-ounce margaritas.
Yes.
And just sat on the bench and had a whole little cry session. And I was just like, man, that felt good, you know. And I feel like people avoid those kind of conversations because they don't want to be vulnerable. Oof. They don't want to. Yeah, they just don't want to be vulnerable with anybody.
Quarantine brought it out.
It brought it out. Like
that's real intimacy, though. I tell folks that all the time. Like I tell women, it's not hard to get me to be physical with you, even in that place, like even in that sense, because I don't like people that close to me in that sense. Really, contrary to popular belief. But the hardest thing for me is to get me to be vulnerable with you. The hardest thing is for me to really open up and tell you like what I want to do with my business, what I'm trying to invest in. It's hard for me. I can't have those conversations with many people because I just hold it so close to my heart. I hold those things so close to my heart, and I try to tell women all the time like it's hard for me to be intimate. Now it's not hard for me to be romantic. It's not hard for me to do nice things for you. It's hard for me to like be me though, like really me at my core. And like dating. Now, 30 years old, I see that, like this story I was just telling y'all about. That clock is ticking on the dating scene, and it seems like it's such a push for everything to happen so fast. Like I was looking at I was on Instagram scrolling, and there was a post or it was a meme, and it was like girls saying they wanted to be flued out on the first first date type fly her out type deal, and he was like Teddy Bundy would have had a field day in this generation because we move so fast and don't verify things before. Like I would never. I have no problem with. I would probably prefer to me fly out to you, but I have no problem flying out to see you. If I know who you are already, like, oh, we really like, it takes time for me. I tell them, and this ain't no game. Like, it's not like it really takes time for me.
I will give the woman perspective on that. We do vet y'all. We are investigators. All we need is your first and last name, and we're gonna find everything there is to know about you on the internet. I'm not kidding. I don't do this, but I'm in a group chat with all my homegirls. And one of them just started dating this dude. She had only been talking to him for a few weeks and flew to Mexico with him. She had this dude's rap sheet. She knew everything that needed to be known about this dude. And I don't know how.
No, you know how.
I don't know. You know how. I don't know how women do it. But I mean, if you have like, and one of her things was like he has to have some kind of like social media or like online presence for me to date him. And I was like, why is that important? But now I kind of see why. Like, if he's just like...
She wants to know what he's up to.
Like, if she turn up missing, we need to be able to find this dude. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And so... Yeah, I don't know. Women do vet, and so I guess maybe that's why the expectation from the woman's side is stuff need to happen fast. Because I already know you, and
I've already told that I've already been told that I'm on the clock before. Like I've had a conversation with her, and she was just talking about her clock, like her
women are on the clock.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all aren't on the clock.
No, I'm saying no, we're not.
Yeah.
That's why I
you mean you mean biologically?
Yeah.
I've been I'm 30, no kids. Like,
yeah,
then your parents want to know when they're gonna have grandkids and stuff like that.
That.
Well, my dad got some.
Those intentions, when you go into relationships with intentions of like, okay, let's get married off the rip. Like, I feel like that kind of clouds some of your judgment too, and makes you maybe ignore red flags and stuff like that.
A lot of things. It's because I tell people all the time, taking a trip is not just about having like I got to know that we gonna be able to really enjoy this trip because I seen plenty of homeboys that take trips with their girls and they be on there arguing and shit, killing the vibe for everybody doing. I'm not on that. I don't even like to argue in no relationship. But I sit there and yes, ma'am, and let you feel like you won all day. Just shut the fuck up for real. I will. I'm telling you, I learned that from my mom. Actually, though, it's crazy. Like my mom, because in our household, if I want to be transparent, like. My mom is probably more the stoic, keep it together, and my dad is probably a little more the emotional, like all over.
That's
the
our
place.
house too.
Yeah, so it's like so in my house it was always my mom was just on some like okay, knowing she'll be right, just be like okay, and just let them figure out they was wrong and come back, and then I'm big on that, and I know women who hate that about me, like you so nonchalant, I don't care to argue about shit that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I argue about sports and music with my homeboys, and that's about it. That's all I'm really sitting here debating about.
Those arguments
you go.
That's what I'm not ready for though, because I'm not good. I'm not good at it.
But you gotta understand,
I'm not good at it.
And that's what you gotta. That's what I mean by you gotta get your person, because your person is going to understand that, and then that may change about you. If you get in a relationship with somebody and you start to actually like. Care about your because I was the same way. Like I'm the kind of person like don't tell me how to talk. my intent is what you should be worried about.
Right.
My
I'm
intention
big on that.
is never to hurt your feelings or be a bitch or whatever. But I like to just get straight to the point so there's no room for misinterpretation.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that is a little blunt, and devoid of care for your feelings. But that don't mean I don't care about you.
Right.
I'm just, at this moment, I'm just trying to get to the point. Feelings aside. And so, but then I learned, like, okay, maybe I can't always talk like that with the person that I care about. Maybe I do need to take into account how I say things, how it's going to affect them, even though they should know my intent. But you're in the heat of the moment and you're in arguments and stuff like that. Your intent may be, a little clouded, or they may perceive your intent to be a little different than what it usually is. So, yeah, I mean, you have to, like, it's not about changing who you are, but it's just like adjusting for the person that you have chosen to spend the rest of your life with. I mean, that's a big commitment. So you got to make some adjustments.
But there are a lot of adjustments, though. Like I'm with you on that because no, and I'm an emotional person. Yeah. Like I am, and our house, my wife and I, just like what you described with your parents, like, and then coming in, especially when we got married, I was ready to rah over like the smallest thing, like you know me, you know that, and my wife just wasn't with that. Yeah. She wasn't, and then it's funny. I think about that. And then, you just kind of evolved. And again, knowing that one is very crucial because that one person is willing to to go through all this in hopes that things will, become better one day or whatever. Yeah. So I think about now, I've become the nonchalant. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. And she done turned up, but it's more like.
She probably turned up now that y'all have kids.
Yeah.
Kids turned you up a little bit because you're like, don't say that around them. Don't do this. Right. It's like you're trying to, now you have this opportunity to like mold this human into your vision. And so like, I think as a mom, we're just like, don't interfere with that.
And, can I? You're taking me there. When kids get in, the arguments, the post-bedtime arguments, Lord have mercy. Yeah. But it was funny. It was this was recently, and I talk about this. When I'm in the car with my boys, we listen to hip hop, unedited. Because like my thing is like I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop, unedited. And I had some moments where I let some stuff slip, okay, whatever. Yeah. But I look at me and I'm like, I think I turned out okay. I wasn't that influenced by hip hop, not in a negative way. Yeah. But it's just like, why wouldn't I want that from my boys? Yeah. My wife listens to 98% gospel. The other 2% is Beyonce. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, my 4-year-old comes in. He's rapping from the new CLB. He's rapping.
Okay.
Too sexy. Yeah, the too sexy coming. And she's like, "What is he saying?"
That's so funny.
So he's like, "Daddy, play it. Daddy, play it." Like in the house. I was like, "Nah, son, your mom."
Yo, I've been trying to like do little things like don't tell Dad. Don't tell Dad I gave you this extra brownie. And she'll be like, Dad,
right.
Mommy,
as soon as you say don't tell, they gonna tell.
They gonna tell. Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I see I don't even have those experiences yet. Jeez. But I'm not scared of having those experiences. I just ain't ready for them yet. I just got beamed 5 months ago, and he's been enough. Yeah, he has been enough for me right now. My dog, like it went from me really like being, because I was always like I'm gonna hit my dog, I'm gonna beat him. No, and I did. That's what I did at first, and now I like barely hit him at all unless he has to really do something. He been tearing up my furniture lately and tearing up some of my flooring, but other than that, like I really learned that I have to like. First off, it's not a human; it's a puppy,
right?
And he's still a puppy. Mm-hmm. So I just it definitely helped learn me some patience. Mm-hmm. I've definitely learned patience easy just with him. So I know a human, a little human, especially a little me.
Yeah,
somebody that got my DNA. I know what I put my parents through growing up. Like I know what I put my parents through. I know the stress that I put on my parents. So, like, I tell people all the time, I think when my parents' relationship maybe had been, like, kind of iffy at certain points while I was growing up. I think a lot of that had to do with me, because now that I'm out the house, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Best life,
man.
I'm already thinking about where I'm gonna be when my kids
they
get out
love
of
it
home.
now.
Like,
And I think like raising kids though, I think does that. Like I think that separates or like a lot of probably marriages or relationships, at least, like trying to raise a kid with somebody. It has to be difficult, but not only are you having your perspective and your thoughts and you having to share them with this other person about something that belongs to you, but it's like, and now y'all got to do it together. So it's not
because it belongs to us,
right? Yeah. So it's like,
I feel like marriage is that's one commitment that you have to adjust, and then having kids, like knowing who to have kids with, right? Because my stepdad raised me basically since I was a baby, you know, and so I'm all for step parents. I'm all for just, you know, having that mother and father figure, period. But people just like don't consider like who they're having kids with. Right. Like it's not a puppy.
Yeah.
This is
you right about that.
It's not this is a human being that is one day gonna be out here with the rest of us.
I gotta be an adult, a responsible adult.
Right. Exactly. So it's like it's way more responsibility than a
dog.
And I think people take that lightly when they choose who to have kids with, because like you have to have those conversations. Like, how do you want to raise our kid? Do you want to take them to church? Do you want to you know, let them pick their own religion? Like stuff like that. Like,
but even that changes.
Exactly.
You
even
know,
that changes. And like with my thing with Joe and what she listens to. It's like I'm just trying to keep the thoughts that she has on kid level. Like I don't want to introduce her to.
See, I didn't think about that.
No, that's my only thing. Like it's not about the language.
About to turn up.
Because she's cursed now. It's so funny because she only cursed like around my mom. It's so weird because she don't cuss around us, but she dropped the F-bomb the other day, and my mom was like, "Don't say that." But she I'm just trying to like keep her just thinking about rainbows and lollipops.
Keep the
for
innocence.
as long as exactly. Like I don't want to introduce her to too mature topics.
No, that innocence is an important thing to try to hold on to.
And that's the thing that I think that she would pick up because she's so smart. I forget she's 3. Like she's about to be 4 in November. Like I'm like, dude, how do you process stuff like that? Should you be processing things like this at 3 years old? Like you're way too smart. And so I forget like. And they understand more than we think they do.
Preach.
They understand way more than we think. Like I don't limit her to if the thing says that this is for 5 and up or 6 and up, I give it to her anyway. Like she'll figure it out, you know. Like it's amazing watching them learn and grow and develop. So I don't want her listening to
certain things.
I can
see that. I can see
and
that.
she'd be like, "Mommy, what's that?" And I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to have that
So no Megan Thee Stallion just yet?
No, she like that body yada yada.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then like she accidentally like we had the video playing one, and I was like, I had never seen the video, so I was like, okay, she liked this song. And then she started trying to dance. Like I was like, nah.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: you got a boy now.
I have a boy now.
Is that gonna be different?
No, it's not. I'm not gonna treat our kids different. I'm not.
You say that.
I'm not.
My parents had 2 boys and they end up still slightly treating us differently.
Nah.
They tried with all their heart, but you had to because I am a different child. So different. Yeah, I'm a different child than Brandon. I am a different child. But accordingly,
yes, I'm gonna treat them based on who they are and foster that. But as far as like my rules and expectations, no, it's gonna be the same. Like just because you a boy don't mean you get to be out here with all these little girls all night.
I'm feeling toxic right now.
Be locked up. Like nah, like either both of y'all gonna be locked up or both of y'all gonna have the same freedom. Like I'm not going to be like girls need to be doing this and boys need to be doing that. Y'all gonna be treated the same in that regard. But if he is,
I think a lot of. Cause I think.
I love him.
Today,
I love it.
This is not even just about kids. This is just about like when they become adults. And I'm just looking at this. I hang around a lot of people who are younger than me, older than me. I hang around them both, so I get a little bit of both perspectives, and I just see how these young people think and how they process things and what makes them tick. And like when we were growing up, and it's a reflection. It's reflected in the music. People always talk about how bad the music. I think music is only a reflection of the culture, of the climate. So it's only a reflection of what's going on. And we were listening to what was I having this? We were here listening to old school songs yesterday. I was helping my friends move, and we were listening to like old school songs, and we were talking like, man, we don't beg no more for the cat like we used to. We don't beg for it now. We tell them bend it over and bust it over. You know what I'm saying? Like, but women back in the day probably would have been way more offended if they would have said it like that back in the day. Women now almost be like, shit, you ain't even got to tell me to bust it over. I'm going to tell you I'm finna come bust it over.
And
you know
that's
what I'm
saying? You're feeding into my point.
Okay.
Because we have for so long given men the space, boys the space to explore their sexuality. Like, you know, it's like kind of normal to have that talk with your son about masturbation or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
I knew about
your
the birds and
girl,
bees early.
with your daughter, she better not ever even think about doing anything with her body until she's out of, like, it's just not real. And then she's gonna like learn from some other
From her
idiot.
friends, yeah.
Right? And then you have to deal with that. So I'd rather be open with both of my kids the same way, and just
teaching
prepare
responsibility.
them.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do these things. I'm not encouraging it, but I'm going to prepare you. If you got questions, I'd rather you come ask me.
Yeah.
Right. And I know I'm gonna be like that.
Because now you can just go on the internet and find all kind of crazy stuff.
And that's part of the reason why I expose my boys to what I do.
Right.
I'm
So
like, that whole thing is like, you want to expose them to them, not their friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just and my wife didn't understand it, but I really try to lay the foundation of like, hey, you're gonna know about most of this stuff before you go to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because they do pick up stuff from kids at school. That's like
100%.
You cannot.
And not even hold on. The school and community got so big now because it's all on your phone. They picking up shit from I know kids 5-6 years old my God, Dolo little girl, Tata 4 got a phone. You feel what I'm saying?
Like her own phone.
7, phone, yes, phones.
Joe has an iPad.
Yeah, my boys got iPads.
She got an
These
iPad,
kids got
and it's
phones
so
at
much
young
now.
ages now.
I paid for no ads because she was watching these videos on YouTube. And even on the YouTube Kids, it still shows.
It
still has ads. But before I got the YouTube Kids, or before it even came out or whatever, she was watching YouTube, and it would just show like scary movie ads in the middle of these kids' cartoons. Like, I'm like, these ads don't even like
appeal to that age group.
I know y'all can like target these ads. But so it would just show wild shit during her videos, and so I had to like pay for no ads, and then got YouTube Kids. And so she can only watch kids stuff. Now she can't stumble upon, some
Candyman.
Yeah, right. Like stumble upon like whatever suggestion they give for this. So, I feel like you can only shield them so much, but you can control. Like, she's not having a phone until she needs to be out of my sight.
Right. That's how my parents were.
Yeah, like, and then it's gonna be the most basic of phones. I wish that they didn't only have smartphones now. Right. I wish I could give her a brick.
You can still.
I could just call her.
Can you still get those?
Yeah, they still have trap phones.
Yeah,
they still got trap phones.
I'm gonna get her a little razor.
Trust me, I know folks still got the flip. Still flipping.
Her little flip phone. She gonna go to school.
Can't do nothing on it. I don't even think it got snake on it.
Oh man,
flip a call. Can't get on no social media. Yeah, I can see a kid, but I'm talking about kids having smart ass phones. I'm talking about
you're not getting access to that.
No restrictions for real. I didn't see kids in the little young boys in the step ministry coming in there on stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I know I can't watch you 24/7 if I just give you a phone like that.
Right, yeah.
I know you're gonna, find some stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna make it a little harder. I am the nerdiest person in my family. I didn't have my own personal computer until I got ready to go to UA. The computer,
for real?
Yes, the computer that was the family computer, it was essentially my computer. I was the only one that used it. I, put viruses on it 50 times, downloading illegal music. And knew how to wipe it clean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was basically my computer, but it was in the family room where my mom could monitor me.
What you were doing. Yeah, that's how my parents were too.
So, and then she got me a laptop when I was getting ready to go to UA. So it's, my 5-year-old's not having a phone.
Yeah, my parents were real. My mom was definitely real big on that. Like, what you need a phone for? First off, if you're not even by me, you're gonna be with an adult that's gonna have a phone. Like, she was big. It's like, you don't need a phone. I was trying to get her. She finally got me one when I was a freshman at Ramsey. She finally got. It took me till I was 14 till I got a phone, and I've been ultra busy. You know what I'm saying? Like she kept me in shit when I was young, so I was always doing something. So, but like she said, as long as that adult got a phone, you don't need one. So
that was the same. I got my phone. I got a phone, a little brick when I was 13 because I played soccer. I played soccer from the time I was 6 until I was 16. So I was going to soccer practice, going on trips, with the soccer team, doing all those things. So I had a phone just so my mom, it had prepaid minutes on it.
Yeah, mine was prepaid too.
Text messages. You had to pay extra to send pictures.
Right, and then because there was a multimedia message.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I don't want to bring this note to this, but I did jury duty at the beginning of 2020 before all the craziness happened. I did jury duty on a federal case, and it was basically involved sexting underage girls.
For real?
And it was this 20-year-old dude posing as a teenager, texting these girls and getting all these pictures of them and stuff like that. And then when they, I guess, wanted to stop sending him pictures, he would blackmail them and be like, I'm gonna tell your mom, I'm gonna tell your grandma. Like a psychopath. First of all, you're 20 years old. You're in your 20s and you're exploiting these girls. You're gonna go to jail if you tell their parents, but whatever. Right. So, but these are the kind of people that's on the internet that these parents, it was one black girl out of all the girls that was on trial or whatever at the trial. And her mom was like, I'm shutting this down now, because he reached out to her on Facebook. She was more of the tech savvy parents. The rest of them, they was like, I just noticed that she was acting weird and different and distant, and I didn't know what was wrong. And I was just like, that's so sad. These parents just had no idea that their daughter was going through this thing. And that's just going to show you, there are parents who aren't tech savvy, who don't know about WhatsApp and don't know about all these other things that they use to communicate with kids, and they're not monitoring the ages of the people that are on these things. And so and they're not telling them what's gonna be on these phones.
That's what I keep thinking about.
You know what I'm saying? We're tech savvy.
Jeez, right now.
Right. They're probably gonna be able to teleport with these phones.
10 years.
So it's I don't know, So
you said what?
Right. I'm going, bye. So I don't know, so just to mitigate all that, she's just not getting the phone until I feel she can handle it. I feel and him, same. I'm not gonna be oh, he's a boy. Here's a phone at 13. Right. She's a girl. Here's a phone at 18. It's gonna be the same. Hopefully.
It kind of reminded me of that Kevin Hart skit. Not that skit he did. He was talking about his daughter. He raised his son. His daughter did everything. The daughter if his daughter was to get caught sending news, he wouldn't know what to do. But he said if his son got caught with a dick out at school, he'd be like, there you go, son. Sometimes you gotta put it on the table.
See, true, bro. And I feel toxic for thinking that way. But man, if I had a girl, things would be different. We would not be listening to CLB if I had a girl.
But now I have to ask you why though. Why is it for your son, but not your daughter?
Let me tell you this.
Because your son is just as vulnerable.
You're right, and I'm feeding into the toxicity here. Disclaimer: I'm feeding, and I'm not proud about that.
And I respect that. Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
I just feel either you got to protect them both. They're both vulnerable, and especially boys, they don't develop mentally as fast as girls to be able to maturely handle things. So it's just I feel if you want to treat anybody different, it should be the boy as far as holding his hand a little bit more. You should give your daughter a little bit more free reign because she's more mature.
I'm sorry, till she out here, you find out she been busting it open.
But okay. Man, JD, no, JD. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. If I can, Rag.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Think of the qualities that attracted you to your husband.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Think of all those, right? One of those qualities, JD, whether you want to admit it or not, was the fact that you knew this man was going to have to hold it down in all facets of your house.
Okay.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You have to teach that. That has to come from somewhere.
Okay.
That is my responsibility.
Okay.
Because God willing, my boys, as they grow to be men, some woman is going to see those qualities in them, and they're going to have to be able to hold it down in all facets of their respective households.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying, okay, Drake is gonna listen to Drake is gonna help that. I mean, it won't hurt. But
it'll at least introduce
I'm a Drake fan, so I need to
I know, because it'll at least introduce them to the toxicity early.
I like
so
that
they'll
too.
be able to recognize it.
But I just think if you're preparing a man for that, that whole rearing development is different.
Okay, no, I agree. No, yes, there's differences in terms of how you have conversations with your sons, rather than your daughters. I totally agree with that. But as far as like the human experience, like, and we were just talking about sexuality right then, but just like, well, for instance, I would say I won't say that my mom prepared me for marriage. She just wanted me to understand my worth and understand that no matter what situation you're in, whether you're married or whatever, don't let nobody mistreat you.
Okay.
So once I did get married, up until that point, I'd have been so independent. I had a job, since I was able to work. And so I've been really independent, and it was hard for me to just totally depend on Bobby. It was hard for me to be like, okay, well, even though I've paid a bunch of bills this week out of my check, now I'm like broke. But I have a whole husband right here who also got money. Like, I can totally depend on him. Yeah. And it took me a minute to change that thinking, like a minute into our marriage to change that thinking, like, I'm not alone. You know what I mean? I don't have to be independent right now. And I think a lot of women have a hard time letting that go, but that's another topic.
Because they be wanting to be independent and dependent at the same time, and it don't work like that.
It's the cover girl of that magazine.
You can't. Like, you gotta it's some give and take, for sure. But yeah, so I feel like that some of those things can be universal. Like, teach your son to be independent and know his worth. Teach your daughter to be independent and know her worth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Teach your son, like, okay, if you want to teach your son it's something that's not toxic, be like, sex isn't just for you. Find out what your partner likes. It's not.
No. I'm kind of with you on that. I'm with you on that.
I'm with you on that, but
that wasn't in my psyche before you said it.
What do men teach their sons? Sexual conquest. Yeah. Get as many women as you can.
Dominate and destroy.
Right. It doesn't matter if she enjoys it or not. Right. None of that matters. It's about you and sowing your wild oats.
Nah, that's real. That's definitely. That's why I got so weak.
So I'm gonna teach my son that, like, it's okay to do whatever you want. I feel like saying people are hoes and all that thing, that's stupid. Like, because boys aren't hoes, but girls are. See what I'm saying? Yeah, that. I think that is.
See, I've never considered necessarily hoes just by their body count. I always considered I knew a lot of hoes that weren't fucking a lot growing up. They would but their mentality was they wanted to latch on for benefits. I feel like that's hoe shit. When you trying to latch on for a benefit, a lot of folks just use sex as that vehicle.
Okay.
And now if you just like to have a lot of sex, you just promiscuous. But I mean,
but you're not a hoe.
Yeah, no, you're not necessarily.
Okay.
You can be though. You can be doing all this sleeping around with men for status, position, perks.
Right.
Or you could just be somebody who just enjoys sex. I don't have no problem with a girl who just enjoys sex.
Right.
I don't, me personally. I've been like that since high school though. Me and my friends have disagreed on that for years. That thinking is not a lot of men don't necessarily think the same way I do when it comes to sex, period. Because although I wasn't taught to care for what the woman is, I'm very much, if I like you, I'm very much of a pleaser. You know what I'm saying? If we having sex. If it's a conquest, it's a conquest. But if it's that, I'm going to definitely make sure. I try to make sure.
So the missions are different for you.
The missions are different for you.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe that changes as men get older. They care more about, but in the
growing up though, when you were young,
you just trying to stick and move,
trying to get your numbers up.
Exactly. So I just feel like you can teach your kids both the same thing and have them have their outlook on life be same.
I'm thinking back. If I'd had that mentality of being more into the woman wants, probably end up with more action.
Oh,
exactly.
Yes.
More kids too. Yeah, I was gonna say kids too.
That's what
I'm talking about younger when I'm starting to learn about it.
no,
Like,
absolutely.
Because if all the other dudes are doing that one and you on this,
yeah.
I was a young. I remember I was eating cat in high school. My friends was talking like, "But you tripping?" Now all of them eat cat. You know what I'm saying? I like.
Now they eating booty. Now we done went straight to booty.
Shit.
And now, who made that popular? A woman. We had to tell y'all.
It was definitely my first time was definitely with a chick that I was dating for a long time, and she definitely suggested.
Was that
Janae?
eating it like groceries.
Yeah, eating like groceries. Yeah.
You see, by the time she said it was old to me.
Oh, okay.
But she made it mainstream.
Yeah, she did. She put a lot of niggas now where they on.
Yeah.
See, I was always that type of dude though. Like, I always was. I really do, and I know women think this might sound very objective, but I really do think you all's body is art. Like I love it. I do and I try to, and if I really like you and I'm really into you, I'm gonna try to make sure I explore every part of this artwork. Like
is there
every
a collection
part.
plate it is?
That was never if that's what when she told me that's what she wanted. Like it's certain things I ain't finna let no woman pig me. I don't care how much you feel like that's what you want. Chill out. Nah, I'm not.
You can't say never.
Never. I don't like.
Man, you don't know what you're gonna be into.
I don't like to be penetrated.
You don't know what you're gonna be into after you done ate all the booty and done all the things.
But there are limits. Let me be clear on
that. You gotta draw the line. There are rules.
I'm just saying.
Changes occur, but still, there's
pineapples.
I'm just saying.
Pineapples.
Look, I feel like straight men tie their sexuality to their butthole, and you shouldn't. Cause you might like that. You may feel good.
I don't. The closest is a girl that got close to my gooch, and now the little spot right between your balls and your ass, and that's I had to tell her to stop though, cause I had to tell her like, hey, cut that out. That ain't what we trying to do right here. So I had to tell her to cut that out, but I just
you gotta be open.
I really like it. I have a hard time shitting sometimes. I know I ain't trying to
be honest.
But that's going out.
Still. So why would you want the opposite?
You feel me? I definitely don't want to go in. And this is no disrespect. If this is what you do, that's what you do.
Right.
If you're a straight man and you pig, more power to you. If you gay and you, there's more power to it. I don't care. They just talking about Michael and his temper. I'm not
talking about Gat too. Gat is not.
We'll ask Mike at 40 and Gat at 50.
I got some homegirls that was trying to convince some of my homeboys the other day. We were at my friend's birthday. And, we always get to talking about stuff like that. And they were trying to convince some of my homeboys that they peg straight men and it's not gay. And it's hard. I think if a nigga is getting paid, then he might also be getting dick. That's just my opinion, man. That's just my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. It's
what was but you want to be entered? You want to be penetrated, but you just don't want a dick. That what you saying? They saying, hell, that's one and the same. If you taking that, you might as well take everything.
There are lesbians who want to be penetrated but don't want a dick.
But they're what?
They're women, but.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
That's because naturally that's what's supposed to happen.
But they don't want the person attached to the
right. But I'm saying, I
feel
feel them. But naturally, that's a natural thing. Like penetration is a must for you all. I know women who don't like anal.
Okay, but
you feel me? Like, and
that's
y'all are
fine.
used to being penetrated.
Penetration is not a must.
I'm saying if you want to have. I guess unless you're gonna scissor each other to death, you're gonna. It's at one point.
Some women get off on scissoring to each other to death.
It ain't the same until that girl strap on. I'm telling you,
we're talking natural.
Yeah,
just are we talking natural, or are we talking about what feels good?
What your body is made for.
Okay, sure.
Ass is made for expounding shit and getting rid of shit, disposing of shit. And the woman's
argument can be made for the vagina too.
Exactly.
It disposes.
Yeah, but so when you have to come together to procreate the natural way, how does it happen?
Okay. I understand.
How does that happen? That's all I'm saying. I'm just speaking. I'm not gonna say I don't judge people for what they anatomy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's anatomy. We're talking about pleasure. We're
Well,
talking about what
but
feels
I guess anatomy to me keeps me from
figuring out what feels good.
Yeah,
that
feels good. Like I know some men, they say when you go get your
colonoscopy,
prostate and all that, you get hard because
I'm
like,
dreading.
Because
your G spot's in there.
Yeah, I know.
And then women, I forgot what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. You made me forget what the whole prostate thing. But no, I mean, I feel like you just have to figure out, what is pleasurable. Oh, some women can't orgasm from penetration.
They got to get the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like even though that's natural,
but you still, what my tongue doing?
Good.
It's still breaking the plane.
And it's
okay. All right.
That's now.
All right. Fine. All I'm saying is your sexuality is not tied to.
No, it's not. It's not per se. Like I said, if you're a man and you could. I'm not gonna say you can't be straight and getting paid. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna go that far. It's just not for me.
Yeah, okay.
It's not my cup of tea.
Not now. Anyway.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not. I guess
Sticking with that.
If me and my wife years from now. Like if she want me to be able to do shit like that, I'm like, well, we gonna have to be able to bring folks into this too. Like it's gonna have to be give and take. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna have to be give and take. Like if you want that, then we gonna have to have this too now. Like it's gonna have to be give and take. Like I'm gonna have to have some more females come in sometime. But I'm gonna let you choose them. I'm gonna let you choose them. You can pick them. Yeah, I ain't gonna pick.
But if it's your wife, still no.
I say I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
At 30-year-old Mike,
no.
30-year-old Mike, no.
Okay.
Hell no.
But 60-year-old
Fuck
Mike?
no.
60-year-old Mike?
With your wife.
With my wife,
with your wife.
With the same lady I've been with for years because
and
it
y'all
might
done
be
done everything else.
because we didn't scratch everything off the list.
Y'all done got sex bingo all.
I just still don't want. I
across
can
the
never
board.
see myself just toot my ass up though. You feel what I'm saying?
Figure out your position.
I can't be no tutor.
Oof.
I can't be no tutor of the
maybe
ass.
not a tutor.
I would have to. I don't know if I want to sit back with my legs hiked up either though. I don't know. That shit weird.
Side-
That's what I said. It's just weird for me.
Side
Like,
pumps, that works too.
yeah, definitely.
She's behind you?
You're behind him.
Whoa,
Yeah.
no.
She's behind us. Yeah,
She's
Yeah.
she hitting us from the back.
No! I'm not there yet.
Hey
That's
man,
just
like I
different.
said, when you're 60 on the yacht and you done all the
During
other
YOLO
things,
season?
right? You don't know.
I can't go for that.
You don't know.
No can do.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's different. But we gonna let's keep going with this conversation of, I guess, masculinity and what it really. Because we were talking about this earlier. Sexuality is a spectrum. Like at this point, I was having this argument the other day, and I was trying to tell this young lady that for men, though, in this society, there really is no spectrum. Either you like cat or you don't. Like I had this argument with friends all the time. They be like, "Ain't no way a nigga could be bi.
Well, what
You either gay or you not."
Once you step over on that side, you are.
Yeah. But women, I know women who were gay in high school. Strictly dickly now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but we accept, women can do that because we know y'all just like to explore a little more. Men, we don't do that. And I know that's probably how we were raised. And two, men don't want to raise boys and think about their boys being with other men. Like that's just not what we envision.
Can we pause there?
Okay.
No. Wait. Because I feel that. I remember with each of my sons, once we found out what the sex was, it was like, thank you, Lord. And the next thought was, please. And I hate that because I'm not against if that's what you choose. Mm-hmm. But as a father, I think
you just want them to mirror.
Yeah. But let me
mirror
ask you this. Mm-hmm. Is that a thought that came to your mind when you had your son?
It not immediately. It was more like, I just want to raise a good man and he not be like these trash men out here.
So that's all it was about.
That was my first thought.
Trash man to who?
Well, to just the guys that my friends described.
I'm saying trash men to who? Women or men?
To women and men.
Oh, okay.
To whatever he is. Because he's born that way. I have no control over that. I can nurture him a certain way, but nature is gonna also kick in.
I think that's a conversation to be had too.
Nature over nurture.
That they believe in that. They said when it comes to sexuality, but nothing else. That's crazy.
But can you go back to the question, please?
Because if he's a psychopath serial killer now, that's nature. That's some chemical imbalance that I can't nurture out of him.
But going back to the question,
okay,
did it cross your mind?
I mean, yeah, eventually that he could be gay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
and my daughter. It's
but do you want them? But do you want him to be gay? It's not about what. But I know it's not about what they want.
No.
You want to be able to choose.
No, I'm being real, and I know
Do
this
you want
sounds
him
very
to be gay?
Rosy, I don't want him to be anything. I want him to be happy, whether he's gay or straight.
She been reading all them pamphlets.
No, I haven't.
And
no,
she done took all the etiquette classes that the baby didn't take.
Nah, because he's still my baby. He's still gonna have me regardless. And like I said, that's something I can't control anyway. Right. Like he's gonna be attracted to who he's attracted to.
What?
But
you can still have a preference.
Right. I was just about to say that. If both my sons are gay and they come out, then my boys still love them. Yeah. It's another life adjustment I'll have to deal with. Yeah. But being honest here, that is not what I would want for them. I am a Jordan fanatic. Yeah. My youngest son is not like Jordans. I did not want that for him. I wanted you to love Jordans like Daddy does.
Okay, look,
right? But
that's I just did with Adidas on it,
and I feel. Oh my god!
I couldn't sleep for weeks.
Yeah, hurt you to your core. I just feel like I feel like that is a man's perspective. From a woman's perspective, all the shit I went through to even get them into this world, I just want them to be happy and live and love me forever. Okay. So if they're gonna be gay, I'm not gonna be the one to be like shun them out. My kids can stay with me for as long as they want.
I'm not gonna shun my boys.
No, I'm not saying you would. Okay, I'm just saying there are people who would and who dread the thought of their kids being gay. No, that was not at the top of my list. It was more like, you know, how am I going to shield him from the inherent racism that people have towards little black boys? How am I going to prepare him to just be out in this world as a black man? You know, what part can I give to that? Because I know that a lot of that's going to come from Bobby. But, you know, I had them thoughts before him being gay. Like, that's like, of course.
I want to ask Bobby what his thoughts are. Because I'm sure.
Ask him
when you get.
I'm not going to speak for him. We've had this discussion before very briefly, but he just said the other day, like, I'm just mentally preparing myself for whatever.
That's a good approach. That's a good approach.
I'm not gonna, hope he's not gay.
But just ask what his preference would be. That's what
I'm sure.
Because y'all doing the politically correct talk. Y'all got the gab down.
Nah. I'm sure Bobby would say without question, like, of course he would want his son to not have to deal with the stigmas of being a black gay man. You know, like, there's a lot that comes with that. Yeah,
I guess if it wasn't so taboo.
There's so much intersectionality in that. Like, you're a black man and you're gay in America. You know, like, there's so much.
That's so many strikes right there.
So much with that. So, of course, he wouldn't want that for his kid. And I wouldn't either. Yeah, my preference would be for him to just be, in the world and nothing happen to him. Nothing affect him. But right. Not realistic, but
nah, it's not.
Go ahead, man. I cut you off there because you struck a nerve when you said that. So, but I think you were
no. You good? It was because that's leading me to my point. I was because they've been on my butt boosted talking about a closet homosexual, and I was having a conversation with a girl the other day, and she brought it up. She brought up some really good points. So. Yeah. Although I don't agree with the Lil Nas X video, I don't watch it. I've seen it before because I wanted to see what all the hoopla was about, and I felt like it was a lie.
Is that the one he was pregnant and all that?
No, I was just looking at the one. That's the picture on the album. Okay. I think that's like an album cover or some single cover or some kind of cover he was doing.
Okay.
But his actual video.
Okay. Right. That's nature. No, I'm sorry. Right? That's nature.
Him trolling the internet?
Him being him.
Yeah.
And all that Lil Nas X has done that we've seen, that's nature.
Yeah, that's nature. Yes.
No. So, she was saying that, like I said, I saw those same videos, and I didn't get as upset. I don't get as upset or as passionate behind my, you know what I'm saying, my views on the Lil Nas X video. When the Robin thing came out about Robin being gay, he was real passionate. And I had something to say about it too, but my take was more or less that, you know what I'm saying, me and my brother were born in the same household, same families, pretty much raised around all the same people. He's gay, I'm not. So it's like
nurture.
Yeah,
nature.
like this kind of
nature.
Yeah, this kind of is like more. It's more like it's
That's
all
nature.
you can expose a kid to something, but they're only going to gravitate towards it if that's what they really like.
Yeah,
my brother played with dolls, and they used to try to get me. I didn't like it though. I just didn't like playing with dolls. Like it just wasn't something that I would rather be outside getting dirty and sweaty. That was just me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but my brother was an athlete too when he was young. So it's like we did some of the same things. It's just different. I don't know what it is. So my point of saying that was that I was trying to get people to understand that kids are going to be pretty much what they are. You're just there to kind of guide them through it. You're not there to mold them. They're going to mold themselves. Yes. You just kind of keep them on point or try to. And so my homeboy, my roommate was like, he was like, man, like, hell no, like these kids we talking about, Mike, you can't be. I don't know. He's like, I wasn't fucking with what you was talking about on your rant today. That's what he told me. Like, I don't know if I was fucking with that. He was like, because these kids we talking about, they targeting kids and this and agenda. I said, well, if you want to be real fair and just honest about it, the agenda is, I mean, there is an agenda, but the agenda isn't to turn every nigga gay. It's to just make those who are struggling to try to identify with what they are more comfortable with being able to say I am that because I see it now. Robin's gay. Robin's a superhero or side. Well, yeah, he's still a superhero. He's a hero. He ain't the superhero.
Captain America, like bi or something, or like one of his versions.
One of yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Who's coming up with this stuff?
He writers.
I don't understand.
These comic book writers. A lot of it on the comic book. It's not the movies or anything.
Oh,
like
okay.
that. It's the comic book. It's the comics that they're coming out with now. But I think. Like they just want representation. It was just like black folks. Like black folks wanted to see more black folks doing something other than just being a drug dealer, you know what I'm saying, or a thief, or you know what I'm saying. In movies, we wanted to see the family. We wanted to see single family, both family. We wanted same thing with gay folks. They don't want to just see themselves as, or that community in general. They don't want to just see themselves as drag queens or being murdered or ostracized on shows. Like they want to be able to say that we natural. Like they got the guy. I don't know his name, but now he's the fairy godmother of the new Cinderella.
Oh,
I can't think of what his name is.
I know you're talking about.
But yeah, he made big hoopla.
Billy Porter.
So he made big hoopla. You know, he had the dress on at the Oscars. Was that the Oscars or the Emmys some years ago? Yeah. But he had, you know, that's how I first got hip to him.
He was on the show Pose.
Okay, see, I didn't watch Pose, but he was just on another show that I watched. Or I just started watching. He's a funny, he a little funny. Actually, like funny, like hilarious. I ain't trying to just say funny, but he funny. But my point is that, and the point that my homegirl was trying to make to me about Boosie being the closeted gay, because this is what we're getting all back to, is that she was like, the way he fixates on it is kind of suspect.
Yes.
And he did time in prison. That was another thing she said. So she said either he was in prison getting off to niggas getting taken down, or he was probably in prison taking down somebody or getting taken down. And now that he sees a young boy being able to be himself out here in the public like that, it's like, nigga, no, you can't do that. Yeah. You fucking it up for all the rest of us. Type. That's how she said that his antics have come across her. Me personally, I don't think Boosie gay. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like to hear people's perspective, and I like to get another thought, because I know it's more than one way of thinking than how I think. So what say you?
I agree with that, but in slightly a different reason or perspective. I think Boosie is closeted and don't
know it.
Either he don't know, or he is also trying to struggling with
it himself,
trying to identify.
So do you think it might be a fear thing that makes? Because my thing is, if I'm a straight man, I'd be. You coming out. Okay, folks be telling me I can't go to Atlanta. I love Atlanta because I know shit. I'm a rarity there.
They're not.
Yeah,
they don't want y'all.
yeah.
They want other gay men.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I love being in Atlanta because women love me. Like when you in Atlanta, you can get. I'm saying, but even when you in Atlanta, like
like 5 women to every one
straight man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm winning. Like that's not like, so it doesn't bother me that you do what you do. Like that's why I don't understand it. I'm not gonna even say I don't agree with it, because what you do with your body is not something for me to agree with. But I don't understand it. It's not for me. But shit, do you? Like, I don't have a problem with you doing you. I don't have a problem with them putting it on TV, because like I said, it doesn't make me be like, oh, I see that in this. Like, I was telling somebody I haven't seen Pose, but it's just like, it's not a show that I don't watch shows like that anyway. If it's an action movie and they got a gay dude that's on the action movie, I'm watching. Yeah, like it's.
And I don't understand this whole. We don't have the same energy for straight heterosexual sex on TV. Yeah, that we don't want our kids to see.
Right. Yeah, and then like, Boosie when they got his kids some head, he was 12.
That is a crime. One. Like, I don't understand how we are not. That's like, a good point. That is a canceling crime. Boosie at this point. I don't understand, but whatever. Because I feel like a lot of black people have been subject to stuff like that. For sure. And they don't know it's wrong. Yeah, they don't think it's wrong. Yeah. And so, but yeah, I just think that he's probably feeling some feelings when he see Lil Nas X being free and doing what he want to do, and he done put on this persona now that is a hardened rapper, so he can't be good. Like Boosie can't come out gay. He can't do nothing else. I see. Yeah, it's like it's some people who I don't know if they told us that they were gay or on the spectrum somewhere, that we'd probably be like, oh, okay, yeah, like Drake, for instance. Yeah, we wouldn't care. Yeah, if we find out Drake was bisexual, we wouldn't care. We'd be like, oh, we probably saw that. Drake is, yeah. So not, no offense, Aubrey. Yeah, no, not saying that I think he is, but if he said he was, it wouldn't be as much of a like, acceptable. Yeah, right. But if like Kendrick Lamar or somebody said they were gay, we'd probably be like, okay, that was out of left field. Yeah, J. Cole. Yeah, J. Cole. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, but I don't know. Because I think some issues. I wonder what it is though. I don't. Cause I've always told my brother this, and people, like, I've always known. Well, I ain't gonna say always known, but since he was younger, we knew he was probably gay. I always told him, no, he's probably like the biggest role model in my life. Like, he's probably one of the people that I look up to the most. And I don't have a problem because he's still a man. At the end of the day, I don't care what he's doing sexually. Like, at the end of the day, my brother has masculine qualities about himself as being a man. He wants to be able to provide. He wants to, like, the same things that we say a man's supposed to do in the household for a woman, like, it's the same. It's a mindset. That's not just about who you putting your dick in. And that's the same thing. It's a real mindset. Not tying your sexuality to your masculinity. Yeah. Because there are dudes who are buff in the gym that will probably could beat up all three of us with one hand, who are gay as hell. Yeah. like that doesn't, know. Have you seen two gay dudes fight? Like, I don't want to fight a gay dude. It's different. It's different.
I have not seen two gay dudes fight.
Hey man, you should come to Atlanta more.
It happens?
Probably all the time in Atlanta. Yeah. I see that in Atlanta. Yeah.
I was somewhere. As soon as we sat down, whole table got to fight. Flip. It was at a hookah spot too. Flip the hookahs, throwing hot coals flying everywhere.
A table full of gay dudes.
It was men and women.
Oh, okay.
Those gay dudes in the
melee.
I think it was a girl fighting the gay dude. Like, they were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Wow things.
ATL nights.
See, that's why I done retired to the suburbs. I just stay up on my side of town now. But yeah, Boosie got issues more than just him being a closeted gay. I think he's just like a caveman in terms of how he thinks.
For sure, a lot of things. And Mike Tyson had talked to him about that on Hot Boxing. He really asked, and Boosie had to really sit there and think about it. Couldn't even really answer. You could tell it's set with him. And he was just like, "What? Why do you lash out? Why do you talk about it? Like, you're like, what hurt you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like what hurt you? It's triggering to him. Yeah. You can tell because any straight man who don't care about gay men going about their business is not hopping on the internet immediately to talk about Lil Nas X. Like,
I don't care. But it's because he's supposed to be the role model for the kids.
He's not though. Who said that? Who? Just because you let your kids listen to this song, which is an innuendo about some sexual or drugs or something.
You think it's supposed to be about drugs, but it could be about sexuality.
Yeah, so it's like, y'all don't even know what y'all kids are singing. They probably shouldn't be listening to it no way. Right. No one said this song was made for kids.
True.
That's the thing about it too. Yeah, just because you let your kids listen to it, just because TikTok and Fortnite and all this made it popular and the kids use it, doesn't mean that he was, you know what I'm saying.
So who y'all really mad at, Lil Nas X or these outlets who are using his music to attract your kids.
Right. Yeah, because you get
Who y'all really mad at? Lil Nas X never said, I'm your kid's role model. Like Cardi B, I'm not your kid's role model. Like her song WAP or something was playing and she cut it off around her little girl. And she should. And she should.
Because she should want her little girl. Like she make music for grown folks.
Yes, she don't make music
grown
for
raunchy ass.
And just because she happens to have kids doesn't mean she has to crawl up in a ball and die and can't make music about being sexual ever again.
Right.
Like her music is for adults. Her kids go listen to Coco Melon.
It's the same reason why you're not gonna have sex in front of your kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
reason.
it's like it's just
that's a good point.
That's why I'm talking about the gray. That people don't like to think just a
Talk
little
about,
critically.
yeah.
Just take your thought. Take your thought just a little further.
We're all hypocrites.
Exactly. That's why we're all hypocrites. We're all hypocrites. And it's fine. You just have to.
You got to own it.
You got to own it. I was just thinking that. You have to own the fact.
At least be able to admit that, like for example, like the vaccine now, and I know this is kind of switch the topic, but like at this point, the only reason I'm not taking the vaccine is just because I'm stubborn as hell. Like it's really I've been showed all the information, and like it's like at this point I'm just being stubborn. But I might just pop up one day and get that hoe and not tell nobody though, and just not tell nobody and just like
you wouldn't tell anybody because you've been so outspoken against it.
Probably so,
okay.
And this is because and it's not because I've never been of the opinion if you get the vaccine you're stupid, you're a follower, you're dumb. I've never been of that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know.
Yeah.
For me. So if I were to get it, I know there would be some people who've always been rah-rah and me in the background when I give my rants on it why I haven't taken it. They'll probably be like, oh, you simp, you sucker, you know what I'm saying? You done gave in.
Trash.
You know they finna put that chip in you. You know they finna.
This is what kills me about that whole thing. They can put you where they want you now.
Yes.
They don't got to track you. They got your face. You put your face in these filters. They can put you in 15 different places if they want to at the same time. They don't have to track you.
I think we've been getting tracked. Yeah.
With your phone.
Yes.
So I don't understand why they need to put a chip in you.
Right. Going back to the vax though. I'm your friend, so like I'm saying I don't care, but I respect your opinion on the vax.
Yeah.
I'm not one to beat anybody down about the vax or not vax. My reason was very, very selfish because I had COVID a year ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I was just like, I just remember it was like 7 days of.
Of hell.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, if the stuff they put in this needle is going to decrease my chance of getting this again, stick me wherever you want to stick me.
Bruh.
Except that.
Yeah. No pegging. Now they say you got to get the vaccine and be pegged.
No. I'm running
When no men
I'm going to take my chances.
That's hilarious.
I'm getting a hazmat suit. That's going to be my wardrobe for the rest of
That's funny because like November 2019, I went to Long Beach for a conference. And on the way back, the two people that sat next to me had on hazmat suits. And I was like, oh, they know something. I don't know.
For real.
That was in 2019 because COVID hit early.
The end of 2019.
But see, that's the thing about it too, because I got real. So my parents tell me this all the time. They think I caught COVID December of 2019 when I first got back from Amsterdam, and it was after Thanksgiving. And I came back in for a week. I'm talking about worst flu I had ever had. And I was reading up all these different things, and some people were saying, well, sometimes when you cross the water, some side effects, some different kind of flus. I was like, this is the worst shit. I didn't ever had sweating during the day, chills. Like, it was bad. It was, and I was there for a week. I had to miss work. I missed work for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I missed 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? 5 day weeks.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my God. I was so happy when I shook back. It took me a while after still to shake back for real. And then I caught it again when they knew it was COVID last year in December again. So yeah, I don't know what it is about
I've been thinking about that. Well, it wasn't a year. I had it last November. It was around Thanksgiving. But I've been like so cautious as we cruise into Thanksgiving. I'm like, man, is this my time to get it?
Yeah.
But of course I was.
They say you need the boosters though now.
I'm getting the boosters as soon. I'm giving my 6 months.
Throw it in me like a dart.
Yes.
Like the minute that Joe and Hendrix can go get vaccinated.
You doing it?
See, that's the only reason I was thinking about it, because you know eventually they trying to open the church back up. Well, they have opened it up for service, but they still haven't let us like meet with the boys or do step practice or anything like that yet. So I was thinking when it comes to that, when I have to be around the boys every week, and I live the lifestyle that I live. I'm still gonna travel. I'm still gonna go. I'm just gonna wear my mask. But to know that they can't be protected because they can't get vaccinated, I was thinking that I might honestly take it just because I would hate, you know what I'm saying, for the kids to get exposed to COVID, find out it was from me, and they get real sick or something. You know what I'm saying? It just
that was me all 2020, just paranoid.
See, I don't have any kids, so I
don't have to think about that. Get my kids sick, or I was gonna get sick. Yeah, and that just kept me.
So you haven't caught it out. Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I've been in the house, and then I actually got the first shot while I was pregnant.
Okay.
And so
I remember you posting about
that. I know a lot of women were scared about that.
But my thing was, I was skeptical too. I was skeptical of the vaccine at first because I was like, okay, this is super fast. And then it came out under Trump. I just don't trust that crack pipe. And then so I was just like, okay, let me just see, other people getting it first, and then I might get it. And then I was like, okay, well, I see other people getting it. I'm cool with getting it, but let me just wait until I'm not pregnant because I don't know how it affects babies. And so, but then like I came in the week that they authorized it for pregnant women because we were high risk, because you're essentially all the things that people who had COVID were dying of: overweight, obese, high blood pressure, all those things. When
at one time, yeah.
Yeah. So the week that they approved it for pregnant women, I had an appointment. As soon as I walked in, my OB was like, "So you getting the vaccine?" I was like, "Should I?"
Good morning.
Right. I was like, I don't know, because I was gonna ask in that appointment, should I get it? Like I was gonna ask her about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you need to get it because pregnant women are dying of COVID. You need to get it as soon as you can." And I'm like, "Okay, say less. I will take my." She was like 20. She's like, CDC or somebody had just released a study of 20,000 pregnant women who have taken it so far, and they're fine. Their babies are fine. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll take my. But you're saying people are dying? Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. So my baby got some of the antibodies, and then I got the second shot. I actually had him 3 weeks early, so I got the second shot after I had him, which was a week after I was supposed to get it. And I nursed him for a few months, and he got some of the antibodies through my breast milk too. So it's science, I'm a big and that's always been my thing with him. My thing is, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. I am totally fine with putting my trust in those institutions. It's kind of and he's not, and I respect that. It's kind of the same way how you believe in Jesus, even though you've never seen him. You put your trust in that and your faith in that, and you walk out on that. And so do I. There's times where I'm just like, dude, my life could be way worse. I thank God for my life. Things could be way worse.
For sure.
I don't stress about things that I can't control. I always feel like God gonna handle it. Something's gonna shake and I'm gonna be fine. Mm-hmm. I have that same faith with science, because science is the scientific method, and it's the same to figure out everything science related, right? If I'm going to put my trust in these OBs to get this baby out of me, I gotta put my
on science.
I have to lean on science. I don't know how to have surgery.
The act of childbirth, I think, is a supernatural thing.
It is,
but there's a lot of science around.
There's a lot of science around.
I'll give you that.
There's a lot of, and and I feel like that's just a different perspective I have from you. You're single. You don't have to think about kids in your household. And I understand that.
Or a loved one in my household.
Right.
My parents don't live with me, so I didn't feel
exactly
like I just needed to. Well, I do rent out a room now, so I guess I do have somebody in the house, but you're a grown ass man too, so you make his own decisions. You feel me? So
make your own decisions.
You feel me? So it's shit.
You ain't handing down no vaccine mandates in there.
No mask mandates, nothing. You grown, you do it. Because I just feel like this, and this is just me personally. I do not trust any business-driven market, any business-driven. And I do trust science. We've had a conversation. I trust science. Mm-hmm. Just depend on what science. I trust anatomy. Okay. I trust biology. Uh-huh. I trust certain things like that. But when it comes to making and manufacturing medicine and then pushing it, I know business is involved. Yeah. And I don't trust big business. I don't trust the government too much. I don't put much trust in any administration, whether it's Obama, Trump, and Biden. I can't tell the difference for real, other than what the media, what the media puts out there, and what the news clips are. I love the fact that Obama was at least charismatic, made me want to believe him. You feel? That's what I'm saying. But he at least gave me the impression that I could be something. You know
that representation.
Yeah, just that. It's just like putting them on TV. It's just like okay, we see it now. And damn, you be like, okay, he a cool nigga. He ain't no goddamn Uncle Tom. Even though a lot of folks try to make him out to be there, but like you said, because he's a puppet. Like
he's a politician. At
the end of the day, he doesn't have as much power as we want to say he does. Like he doesn't. Yep. You know, if he wanted to go in there and just change shit, he would have. I believe that with my whole heart.
If he had that power.
Yeah, if he really truly had
for a reason.
For a fucking reason.
And I'm glad they're there.
And I hate so many people talking about how, and I know we switching to politics. I don't like to get in politics too much, but I hate folks to talk about, well, Trump didn't do it. Biden doing all this shit, and Trump ain't doing nothing bad. He got me some money, give me taxes. I was like, nigga, the fact that we got three new judges in the Supreme Court that just told Texas that they was all right with being able to goddamn make the abortion law is a direct reflection of Trump being in office. It's so many other circuit court level judges that they said Trump put over like 200 judges in office across the nation while he was in the what's called it, not just the three Supreme. Oh yeah. So it's like
I mean, but that's the luxury you have as like a cisgendered male who don't have to think about ever getting an abortion.
True.
And I always say this, like, and I have this argument with one of my friends all the time. Black men, no doubt, y'all have it very hard in this country, but you're still men, and you still benefit from the patriarchy. And if you are well off, you know, even making a decent amount of money, you're not poor or doing anything, you know, wild, illegal, or in the system in any way. As a man, I
can pretty much do what I want.
You can do what you want. Like, you still can walk in a building, me and you be qualified for the exact, you know, have the same exact qualifications, and you'll get the job, or we'll both get the job, and you'll get 10 grand more than me. I've seen it happen. That's one of the things that turned me off from corporate America. You remember I had that whole talk with you about going to Verizon, like, after being at Vulcan, I was like, do I really, this ain't really my speed. I'm not really this cutthroat. I'm not.
It's cut.
I don't want to like step on other people to get to where I want to be. And you know, just working for the government is a little bit more fulfilling. It's a lot more fulfilling. I don't have to worry about the bottom line. I don't got to worry about making somebody money and just filling a warm position in a cubicle. Like, I'm actually, like, one example, I'm like going all over the place.
No, you good.
Just to like to show a really good side of politics and the government or whatever. But because I really feel like we shouldn't like shy away from politics. We should honestly get more involved. Like, you should run for alderman, you should run for city councilman. Like, there's levels where we can actually enact change.
Make
right. And I feel like we don't need to just vote. We actually need to participate. True. We can't get mad when all we have are the same white people to vote for. Go run. You got, and the thing that is a barrier for most black people to do that is you don't get paid anything being a public official. But these people who usually do, they come for money. They the CEO, or they on the board of some company, and so they got money. So this is just like a little power grab right now. But I feel like that shouldn't deter us. We need to just figure out a way to organize and lift that person up if we want to get behind his campaign or whatever. Give money. We spend money on other bullshit, man, all the time. Like, so just give a few dollars to this person who's actually going to make a difference for everybody. But anywho, but one of the things that's more fulfilling, that just an example, during the Colonial Pipeline thing, where gas stations were price gouging, I built a form on the Consumer Protection Agency website in Georgia that people were being directed to report price gouging. Like, I built that form from the ground up.
That's dope.
And so I was just like, wow, people are actually like using these things that I built. Like, I'm directing.
You're talking like tons of people.
Yeah, it's like I was on. You follow? I don't know if you follow ATL Scoop. Do you follow ATL?
I've seen them on.
Yeah, you've seen
I've seen them on
bro.
What's called.
That will make you not want to live in Atlanta. It is
it's some wild stuff on there.
I'd be so scared. I'd be like, bro, no. But anyway, they were directing people to that form, and I was like, wow, like, I built this form. So, you know, it's just it's more fulfilling. You feel like you actually like making a difference when you working in the public sector, at least on the state level, anyway. Right. I think federally, there's just a lot of. There's a commission for oversight committee for oversight, just so
much
so people can have jobs. Like, the federal government is like one of the top employers of the country, if not the top employer of the country. So it's a lot of bloated, and people just, you know,
space filling,
money just floating around. We don't know where it's going. Like with this war, with the war in Iraq, that was just like, let me just put all my buddy on these government contracts and get them super paid, and they ain't nobody tracking the money. You ever seen that movie? What was that movie with Jonah Hill? And
War Dogs.
War Dogs. You ever seen that movie?
I've never seen.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It's basically just these two dudes who know nothing about war, nothing about government contracts, nothing. Just got like an end to supply the government with what were they supplying them with? Guns? Yeah. And it was doing some real sketchy shit. And I think it was based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some real sketchy shit to get these guns to give them to the United States government. And they gave him like a invoice for like, I think it was like for $50 million, something like that. Yeah. And they was like, "Oh, that's it." They was like, "Damn, we should have put like $100 million on there or something." Like, so it's just
we
like,
gonna spend money.
It's just like it's nuts. And so I think like we talk so much about, especially like as Black people, about, well, this is what happened to us, and this is why we like this, and systems, and da 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 da. It's like, okay, we know that, right? We know now.
So what are we gonna do about it?
What the fuck are we gonna do about it? And I'm so sick of like talking about the problems, but no one's offering up any solutions.
Yeah.
And then if someone does offer up a solution, well, we shouldn't do it like that. Let's do it like this. Nah, let's not. It's just like, can we just all get on one page?
I think
for one thing, and like
that's the biggest thing. I think there are a lot of different solutions. Like there will be a solution. A few solutions for how we can overcome in politics. There'll be a few solutions for how we can overcome the wealth gap. There'll be a few solutions. And like, but the first thing is niggas just gonna have to come together. Like that's the first thing. Like niggas gonna have to be able to understand that I just want better for us and for my kids or for their kids, so that they don't have to, grow up how our parents did. And I'm big on group economics, but I know that's just not the all in all. Like I know there has to be other things that go into it. So
people in this town say, in the country say, there's a ton of ways to skin a cat. And so, I mean, and we also have to like remove ourselves sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes from capitalism and trading your time for money. Maybe you just give your time away. Like, we can't always want something in return if it's detrimental to our progression. Like I see it all the time in Atlanta. These dudes, they get together and they found out a way to do all this sketchy shit online, and now they're gonna put it in a package and sell it to you. Sell you some information, some shit you can just really Google and figure out yourself.
Right.
I'm gonna save you the time and sell it to you for $500. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a summit or some kind of seminar thing at some conference hall and invite you and get more money that way. But when you leave, you're basically leaving with just you're leaving empty-handed. You're not leaving with a job opportunity. You're not leaving with anything really, but just some information. And now you still got to have the drive to go out there and actually execute.
And that's what folks get so mad at me when I don't want to like subscribe to shit like that. Like folks like, oh, you got to pay to play. You do. You got to pay to play, but then you got to figure out what you have to pay for. And certain things, certain information you don't have to pay for. Certain shit you just look up yourself. Like you said, trade. Instead of trying to just pay for it, just use that time. To figure it out.
And I think it's also the allure of, well, I'm going to just pay this $500 because I'm going to get the information quick, and everything is going to come quick. That instant gratification you think you're going to get from taking some kind of shortcut. You're going to get this information, but there's no shortcuts.
Right.
It's still all going to take time.
Unless they finna go out. Like, I just started, I don't know the name of the couple, but they're mobile home investors, and I just saw them on Earn Your Leisure, because I watch Earn Your Leisure a lot lately.
Yeah.
And they actually do like go and help some of their students go actually find mobile homes or find places where they are, where they can go buy them and flip them for wholesale and things like that, or fix them up. But that's rare. Like most times when you become a student or you take a class, like after that, like they pretty much just say, okay, well we gave you all the information. Like what you gonna do? I've signed up for some. I ain't gonna put their names out there, but some people's class, and like when I left, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like this information you gave me, and it was virtual and stuff, but I was like, this information you gave me is shit I already knew for real. You ain't telling me how to really go out here and like who I need. I need niggas to tell me
names, addresses, phone numbers.
Like, I
Give
need
me
you to give me your
specifics.
connects. If
Yes,
I'm paying
the
you for something, I want to.
connects, yeah.
That's what me and my brother Dolo was talking about that the other day. We like, we not paying niggas for information no more. We paying you for the connects.
Yeah.
We got the information now. We just don't know what's the plug.
Yeah. Cause that's honestly what you're paying
different
for in
things.
college is the plug.
Yeah.
Because all that information I never forget. Like this was like when Googling things was kind of like a business like a business trait or whatever, like a skill.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
researching on Google was
Right.
like something you needed to know to be out here in the workforce. But I didn't understand it. I was like, why am I paying you thousands of dollars in tuition for you to tell me to Google stuff? Oh, because you put me in a room with Microsoft. You put me in the room with Accenture, with Ernst & Young, with Walmart, with Home Depot. You put me in the room with these recruiters
Right,
that I would never otherwise have an opportunity to be in. So that's what I realized college was just a big plug. Yeah. And that's what kind of separates you from being. But as far as like the information, everything that I learned.
That's why I tell folks, unless you trying to be a doctor, lawyer, where you got to sit and you never really start researching.
Yeah.
Where you never really stop seeking knowledge. Well, okay, I can see you like school, but I tell other folks like, if you going to school, like just try to make as many connections as you can. Like that, you probably ain't gonna use your diploma anyway, unless you, like I said, unless you getting it's very specific. It's so many degrees at Alabama that niggas ain't using. They just basically just giving them. You can make it. I almost did that before I decided to just come back to Birmingham. I was like, well, shit, I don't like MIS. Like,
that's what I graduated from, MIS program.
Oh man, I started out at MIS.
It's hard.
Oh man, and I had to come in freshman year taking, because I had tested out of calculus, so I came in straight taking econ, stats, and all that my first semester.
Yeah, I failed stats.
I was like,
accounting.
fuck no.
I had to take them both twice.
I was like, hell, econ 110 and all this stats 260. I'm like, I'm a freshman. Like, what the fuck am I doing this? And I was like, I hated that shit. I did it for the whole year.
That stuff?
No, dude, finance. We had to take finance to graduate. They basically gave you the entire time you're there to finish this finance class.
Yeah,
because it skips right to finance 301. And I'm like, what was 101?
Yeah, you feel me?
Right.
That shit crazy.
And then it's like crazy formulas. It's like nothing you could be ever prepared for it. But
like stuff they probably gonna teach you again, even if you got on the job, because they gonna probably want it done a specific way.
Finance. I never use anything I learned in finance.
But they don't teach you personal finance, which I thought was crazy.
Like, exactly.
Econ in high school,
you do all that, get out of the real world, don't know how to balance a checkbook.
Don't know how to keep a real budget.
Right, those are the life skills.
If it wasn't for Boy Scouts, like I tell folks all the time, like real life, I learned more shit in Boy Scouts than I ever learned in school growing up. Like. Honestly, like Boy Scouts is where I learned a lot of like folks be like, you know how a little bit of this, a little bit here, because I had to do a little bit of this for this merit badge, or this for this merit badge, or this. Like we had to keep a budget for 3 months. Like you had to, like really, right? Like I had to do that.
I gave
and
up
that's
on
the
Girl
only
Scouts.
reason. That's the only reason I'm like, but I econ, man, that class was a joke. My senior year, for real, we didn't learn shit in there. We didn't learn shit. And the guy was a Republican, just trying to get us to understand Republican way of thinking. That's basically what he wanted to do.
But that's why I like to think, like, a lot of people are pretty Republican in certain areas.
They want to be when it comes to money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot, especially a lot of my male friends. Like, y'all are Republicans because y'all think one day you're going to be millionaires. Yeah. So you don't want taxes and you don't want all the things Republicans don't want. And so I'm just.
That's a good point.
Yeah. A lot of men that I talk to are just like, people need to get off these welfare checks. I'm like, okay, but sir, like, there's some instances, where people may need that money. And it's their money because they're paying taxes. So
like for sure,
just getting their money back, but whatever. People are pretty Republican about a lot of things. But that's the thing, like, that's the problem with our current political climate, because a lot of us are pretty in the middle.
Yes.
And
there is no in the middle party, like for real.
There are things that
Andrew Yang is about to make that.
Okay. Oh, Yang said that's what you finna do?
I don't know if it's going to be in the middle, but he's forming his own political party. I read about it.
But y'all know there are tons of political parties, right? There are more than Republican, Democrat, and Independent. There are Libertarian, Tea Party.
The Tea Party's official?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know they were
but there's like just parties that you never even heard of.
Oh.
They're all listed somewhere on some site. But there's a bunch of different. We can make a party. It just has to get enough, political influence behind it.
I think the dumbest thing about especially presidential election, well, nominations in the first place, is that you can only pick one Democrat and one Republican. I feel like that is the dumbest shit ever. Like, why is it that why is it that when we went to vote for president, we couldn't vote for Sanders or who was it? Oh, Biden.
Well, that's what the primaries are for. You narrowing it
Yeah,
down.
but we don't need that in primaries. Because my point is, now you're making, because my thing is, if say Sanders and, because you do it on a local level, like for mayor, say Sanders and Biden both were the most votes get, most electoral gainers or whatever, however you want to say that, during their election. And they had to do a runoff, though, because no one got the majority or the number that they need to. That's fine, and then we can do a runoff. Mm-hmm. Why? That's how we do it with mayors. Like, if mayors don't get a certain number, it's not, well, he's the guy from this party, and this she's the girl from this party, so let's no, you vote for all of them. We just had like 8 niggas on the ballot. Mm-hmm. For mayor in Birmingham. So
but that's what you do in the primary. All the people who
I don't want it to be like that for. I'm saying I don't want it. I want it to be like that for. And I know some folks are like, well, there's gonna be too many folks. That's okay. Give us more options. I don't think niggas should have had to choose between an old racist ass loud nigga in Trump or an old racist ass quiet nigga in Biden.
But
I don't believe we should have had to choose between the two.
Before we got to Biden, we had all of them on the ballot, and so we got to pick. But most people picked Biden.
No. I don't think that. I don't believe that at all. I believe politics came. That's what I'm saying. I believe most folks who had power and influence made people believe that Biden was the only.
Yeah, of course. That's
was
campaigning.
The only way.
He's already campaigning now. He's campaigning already now.
But I'm saying they made it feel like he was the safest way. They felt like if we would have had Bernie in there, that the white men or the white women who weren't happy with what Trump was doing would still vote Trump over Bernie Sanders. And I'm like, I think that's very stupid to think that, because I think niggas is tired of Trump anyway. Like, I don't even think.
Half the niggas here voted for him. So
I mean, we in Alabama though.
I'm saying half the country.
Voted
for him.
Yeah, but shit, it wasn't close. Like, when you look at the numbers, like, it wasn't close. Not the popular vote. The popular vote wasn't close. But we always win the popular vote. Democrats gonna always win the popular vote. Republicans always know how to win the electorals. Like, they always got the strategy behind it.
They just cheat.
And we just. Well, that or that, and we all, because they know the Democratic Party is always going to get more of the population because it's more of the population needs.
Well, you know what influences who's the president and what the Democratic Party and all that stuff does. Your local, your Senate, your House representatives, your district representatives. All those people go to the federal government. So if you pay more attention to those elections and make those elections blue in a typically red state, then the pollsters are gonna be like, oh, these people are voting like more blue. Let's push more ad dollars for the blue guy to Alabama.
We tried that last time with the Senate. We just let Tuberville probably the dumbest other than Trump, because he just spewing everything Trump's saying, and that's what I don't understand. Like, we had a Democrat in there for the first time in years, even though it was only because Sessions,
was a rapist,
and then the other one was taken up to AG for a while. You know what I'm saying? He had to fight for his spot back when he came back and lost. So that's why, and then Tommy ended up getting it this next term. So they had to do like a special election, whatever. And who was Doug Jones ended up getting in there? Yeah, and I was kind of like, okay, that's progress.
Yeah, and then Doug Jones was running against a.
Oh yeah. Oh, you saying he was running? Yeah.
That's the only reason why. Like, he has to be running against somebody just completely garbage sure, like that to get in, which is that just goes to show you, like, it was always just like, okay, is it this nice looking dude named Doug, or is this dude who's been accused of these horrible things against little girls? It's like, I'm not gonna vote, even if I might say.
But you best believe a lot of folks did still vote
most
for him.
Oh, sure. Yeah, even if I say out loud that I would vote for him, I probably go on the ballot and actually vote for Doug Jones.
Right.
And so I think that's a lot of that happened too. Like, you gotta on the outside be
support
with your party,
you,
right? But once you
that's
get in that ballot
box, shit too.
It's dumb. It's really dumb.
Because they wrong. They not making your party look good. Like, folks who stood by Trump when he would say shit that he knew was wrong. Like, the whole. Folks be talking about the whole inciting the riot shit wasn't Trump fault. Like, it was totally Trump. He made people believe that we were really cheating him out of presidency during a political process, and he was being false as fuck. That's why people went and was up there. They didn't go there and protest just because no mask mandates and no vaccine. Like, that's not why they went up there for that. He told them if what's the vice president name?
Pence.
If Pence didn't go in there and do it, he can't stop. All he can do is open them envelopes and read off the shit that we already seen on TV. That's all he can do, and confirm what has already been said to us.
And besides that, they said that's why they went there. They said, I went there because Trump told me to. Yeah. Because Trump flooded my inbox with, if you care about this election, show up to the Capitol on January 6th. They said it in their like depositions in their court trial. Like, the only reason why we went is because we thought we were doing this for Trump.
What Trump wanted to do.
This is what Trump told us to do. So I'm just like, y'all ain't gonna believe what the people who went.
Yeah, that's why. They still don't want to. I'm like, but these folks here tripping. I'm over it. I ain't gonna lie. I've from this entire conversation, from where we started to now, what I've learned about society is that we need some serious help. We got some good people here for real though. That's what we need: good people to not be so scared to speak out because of consequences. We need more caps. Even though everybody may not agree with what he was doing or how he did it, there might have been other ways. Yeah. He was willing to sacrifice everything just so we can get a message across. Some folks don't like but you need some folks to do what Jay-Z doing. You know what I'm saying? Now the NFL has now started to go and look at and actually made a whole, not propaganda, a whole agenda basically setting, like, we're going to make sure we speak out about Black lives and make sure we let them know. Like, now they doing Black Lives Matter shit.
They played the Black National
Anthem. Now they doing all this shit now. Because you sometimes need somebody, but sometimes you just need somebody in there. Because folks are like, I don't like Jay-Z. He's selling out for money. I mean, of course you want this man to use some of his time for money, and if he can affect change while he in there, I feel like, what's the problem? Like, I don't look at what niggas making money and get mad about it.
My whole thing is we need to just stop prescribing to these
celebrities,
white institutions and expecting something different. I feel like
that's true.
We make up 90% of the NFL. If every one of them decided to not suit up, what you gonna have left? Yeah. What
then you got to think about it like this though. Some of them players, although they make a lot of money, some still live beyond their means. They need every game check to be able to.
But you're making more in playing football in a few years than a lot of people ever seen in their
lifetime. They make some folks making a Sunday with more than some folks makes in 10 years.
Even if you ride the bench in NFL, you're throwing a football, you're catching a football. I'm sorry, these jobs are not important in the grand scheme of things, and you're getting tons of money to do it. I'm not trying to diminish what it takes to get there, because I'm an athlete and I know it's hard on your body and all these other things, and I get it. But you're not out here like curing world hunger or doing nothing that's actually gonna be meaningful past your career. And so I feel like if you really cared so much about Black people's image within the NFL, y'all just pick your ball up and go to another field. The cameras and the ad dollars are going to go to where the entertainment.
Yeah, that's real.
And now you don't need cable networks. We look at stuff on our phones. Have somebody can, like, how easy it is. That's another thing why it just annoys me when people say I'm not tech savvy, because it's so easy now to like launch an Instagram or to launch a Facebook. You don't even need to know how to code. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to start these platforms now that will take money to scale, but they out here throwing money at Silicon Valley. That Elizabeth Holmes, y'all know who that is?
No.
Y'all ain't never heard of. She on trial right now. Go look her up. She finessed billions of dollars out of venture capitalists and stuff like that, because basically her product was, all those tests that take like tons of blood to run and get results from. My test only need one drop. It only need one drop of blood. She had no proof, didn't have no like nothing really substantial to back up that claim, right? But somehow they threw money hand over fist at this woman and valuated her company. So she's basically on trial for fraud, for defrauding investors. because this product never existed or never worked the way she sold it. So money's not an issue. There's tons of money out here, and yeah, like you don't like Triller now. Triller is showing all these fights with that Logan Paul dude. You know, Triller. What was Triller like last year? No one had even heard of Triller.
It was just a little app that you use to edit your videos.
Yeah, now they're selling out pay-per-view fights.
Wow.
Like, you know, so we can go. Our eyes, our ad dollars are gonna go to wherever the football players who are good.
Nah, that's real. No, it's real.
And that's what I mean by everything can't be about what I'm gonna get in return. Maybe the first year that these dudes pick up their ball and go do their own thing, no one gets paid. But then moving forward, now these other generations can come through and do their own thing and not have to feel like they at Cracker Barrel every time they go play football. Like they can like be themselves, be black, and do whatever they want to do, and not have to. They can't celebrate in the end zone. Like what? Like what is that about? That's just about shutting down your personality and shutting down. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
but
I definitely agree with you on that. But you got to think about it like this though. Do you know Dame Dash has his own like entire network? Okay, so I downloaded that app, but a lot of people probably don't know about Dame Dash Studios. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where he got cooking shows, exercise shows, yoga shows. Like it's a whole bunch. Like he has a whole entire network, kind of like Revolt.
178 or something like that.
I just got the app.
Oh, okay.
I just downloaded the app on my phone. My homeboy put me on the app, so I could just get it all on my phone. But like you said, it's at one touch. Yeah. It's just one touch on your phone. Revolt. Big Three. You know what I'm saying? We got black people try to you just got to make sure we support them. I like Big Three. I watch it. I follow some of the players. I follow Frank Nitty. Yeah, I watch it. Yeah, I think it's real competitive. I like seeing old heads. Yeah. So just black people just gotta. We are so much of a consumer that we only consume what we kind of told to, or what it's been branded as. This is what you should consume, and if anything else under that is like it's not as good quality. Like I said, when I watch the Big Three, I see good basketball. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the NBA, but shit. It's not supposed to be the NBA. It's 3-on-3 half-court basketball.
But all these dudes were in the NBA.
They were in it, and they're good. They're still freaks of nature. And they're still good to watch.
It's like it's still good basketball. Yeah. So it's. I hope that the fact that like these players now that's coming up, being able to get paid while they in school, maybe they can understand that, you know what, I am the money. Let's come together. I feel like give it about 10, 20 years. I think there'll definitely be a few black owned national some leagues, whether it's it'll probably start with basketball or football.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think there will be.
Remember when when the NBA went on strike? We were like, I guess we were like kids or something. In high school, they went on strike. They playing at the Rucker.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. They were watching Kobe and them at the
Kobe
Rucker.
was at the Rucker.
Yeah. So it's like we're gonna go where the talent is.
Yeah.
My only skepticism with that is, and it deals with football and the NFL.
It's a little different with football,
and the power the NFL has, because you've seen in recent years there's been other football leagues develop, but they never pan out. And so I'm thinking like if it's
tough, they own
NFL
is. They really own Sunday, like
man,
and it's hard too with
that'd be hard
that
to go up
sport
against.
too, because everybody got on helmets, so there's not like recognizable.
That's a big part about it.
Characters. It's like your team is what you watching.
Yes,
it's your team is what. But with basketball, they change teams so much you really following the player. Yeah, and you got your favorite players or whatever.
And like you said, you can see them. You can see their
emotion.
You can see their face.
Yeah.
You know what they thinking. Like it's
with NFL,
you can see what they saying sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
NFL's a little more difficult.
NFL's a little different. I will say that. But yeah, I mean, if like I've always had this debate about college football players, not before this NIL stuff. Getting paid from the NCAA, and I'm like, okay, if they're gonna pay the football players, they're gonna pay the gymnastics team. Are they gonna pay the softball team? Are they gonna pay the swim team?
I think that would be hard.
Are they gonna pay
that was always a hard thing.
So you think they got it right?
I do.
Yeah, I think
most
I
definitely.
agree.
I feel like they should always
open up to everybody, no matter what sport you're in.
Yeah,
go get what you can get.
Always have been able to make money off
on
your
the
name.
side.
Like,
that was the dumbest shit.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I can see them, like you said, not paying players, because then it's going to get into do we pay all the players the same? Or even if we just stick to one sport, do we pay Mark Ingram, Heisman winner, the same thing we pay his bag up?
Yeah, exactly.
Or the third
or the bench
string.
riders.
You feel me?
Right.
Or the,
because you're
can't pay
already
him all the
essentially
same
getting
thing.
paid in the form
you get a
of
little
free,
stipend and you get free education.
You get a $1,200 stipend. I don't know how much you made when you was in college, but $1,200 a month before I started working at Vulcan, like a Fortune 50 company. I was working at like Yogurt Mountain and places like that. I was working, like I was making $1,200 in a couple months. I think, I was an RA for a semester. I was making $100 a month as an RA.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, because I was an employee of the school as an RA.
But you didn't have to pay to stay anyway.
Yeah, I don't have to pay to stay. I got like an upgrade in my meal plan, like stuff like that. So they're paying you in a free education, free books. I always felt like they should always be able to come back and redeem that free education, even if they go off to the league, and then, don't finish. They should always be able to come back and get a degree because you earned that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But should you get paid, bro? You get the best accommodations on campus. Yeah. You get
especially in Bama. But they say certain schools they say they don't get it like that.
I'm talking about these D1 schools.
I was watching the Jalen Ramsey
NFL players.
I was watching the Jalen Ramsey interview and he was talking about how at Florida State like they really had to live. And this is I don't know if he was lying or exaggerating, but he was saying they basically the way he made it sound, they live worse than I did. It rose. You know what I'm saying? Rose Tiles, how he was talking, but they could just be talk. I'm sure. Looking at how our players stayed, bro. How our players stayed. I know they meal halls and shit.
Bro, we couldn't even go in there. We couldn't even go in
you
their
had to
meal
know
hall.
somebody getting by.
Yeah, you had to be accommodated by someone who could get in there. And then you couldn't take a to-go plate. You couldn't take food to go.
Steak and
yes.
like real food and all. Yeah, you gotta feed them boys.
And that's why I'm like, bro, y'all got the best of the best. Y'all are like
they bringing the money in.
Yes, y'all got the best. And then if you get hurt, you don't just go to the student health center. You get the best doctors that they can find.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because when Tua got hurt, they had him on the plane going
to surgery hours later.
Hours later with the best. That's bro, I never thought about that.
We gotta go to DCH. Go to bro, and you might die.
I'd rather go to student health center.
Right, then go to DCH. So I mean, that was always
I never thought about that, but that's right.
I take that for granted too, though. Living in a city like Birmingham with great hospitals, like plural, like that shit is something we take for granted. Because in T-Town, you did not. Like, if you get here in T-Town, you might still try to come to Birmingham if you can.
You might just go on and take that 45-minute ride.
What?
Yo, I'm not
it's
going
that
to
bad.
DCH.
It's
DCH
that bad.
stands for don't come here.
for real. Like, DCH is bad, man. I haven't been down to Tuscaloosa actively in the city since 2015, so I can't say. But back then, it was bad running, like for real, like.
Yeah.
Dang.
You did not go to DCA, bro. If you could help it.
Yeah, just go and take that ride.
You feel? Yeah, man. But I think, first off, this is a very, very great conversation.
I agree.
I definitely enjoyed it. And I think the one thing that we can all agree on is that people just have to consider themselves, but also consider others. Be willing to volunteer time, money, resources, just resources, because time is a resource. Be able to volunteer resources sometimes for the greater good. And we got to come together. Like, we can't let shit like sexuality, whether he want to get pegged. We can't let that separate us. We can't let that separate us or judge people. We just got to, let people be with who they
empathy.
are. Yeah, empathy.
It just goes away after you get a certain age and you become more cynical. You see, you have that little cynicism towards like profit motive driven companies, which is fair. My thing to that is I don't want to kill the clientele. If I'm gonna give them stuff, it may not kill them immediately, you know what I mean? But I don't want if I'm going to give them a shot, I don't want them to die immediately after. So my point is I'm going to take some time, I guess, to actually develop this vaccine and make it work for people.
Yeah, I might get vaccinated.
But not to harp back on that, but like, even if you want to apply some nefarious motive to people who are just profit driven, I want to keep people buying stuff for as long as possible. Even if I don't care about them, wholeheartedly. I at least want them to be alive to buy my shit.
Return.
Right. Right. So, but yeah, I just think, we just need to have a little bit more empathy towards one another and try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like, I hate when black people get to a certain status in life or whatever, and then look down their nose at other black people who, you know, maybe live in the projects or something like that. It's not right, because that's just about a life of circumstance, you know, and everyone isn't as driven as others or whatever the case may be, you know, like, or wouldn't handle a hand that was dealt the same, you know, depending on who it was. But I can't, and then I see people who are arriving and doing these things, and, you know, I'm thinking, like, I'm not going to judge them because I have 2 kids. I don't know what I would do if they were hungry.
Right.
Oh,
I don't know what I would do if I needed to provide for something for them and I couldn't just do it in traditional ways. So I'm not going to judge somebody else for how they get it. If they're probably in a situation where they have to do it this way.
Yes.
Not because they want to do it this
Right.
way. And that's that gray, right? It's not, oh, this person was selling drugs, so they're a criminal. No, they were probably selling drugs because they had no food. And so it was like the only option they had.
It's always, well, not always, but most times there is a real legit reason why people have to do it. I was telling somebody that the other day because they was talking about one of their homeboys be scamming now. And I was just like.
Now, scamming, I don't know if I can
I was like, listen.
No empathy for the scammers.
Right, I don't know.
I
It
tell
takes
them,
a lot of forethought to be a scammer.
I tell folks like, hey, whatever you do to make your money, that's on you. Like, I'm not gonna judge you for what you do. I'm not gonna say you a worse of a person or anything because you scam or anything like that. But I just you gotta be careful, like, and know what really comes with it. Like, you fighting with these selling a little weed here and there is different than robbing. Robbing is different than scam. Like, all that stuff it's levels to it. Like, you feel me? Like, are you bothering people or are you just trying to make you $1? It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you out here invading people's, like, get somebody to scam you or take something from you on in the internet is just as trespassing as somebody robbing you. Like, I don't think folks really realize that. When folks go in your account, you realize somebody went in your account and spending some money, you like, what the like?
Or those people who like trick old people out of money.
Yeah.
Like, that is the saddest thing to me. When you like call up an old lady and be like, "Oh, I just need $2."
Because you know they don't understand.
You know they don't understand.
That's heartless. That's heartless,
just
man.
No soul whatsoever. And I'm just like, okay, we need less people like that and more people who.
I gotta dig deep to find empathy for people like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The scammers, I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't knock it. Like, I can't get down with it, but I never, like, just because I don't do it personally, I try to make sure I was like, okay, well, that's you. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna say we ain't gonna be friends. Like, I ain't gonna be able to kick it with you because you doing stuff that I don't necessarily agree with. But
you scamming old ladies, we can't be friends.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't just kick it with you.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? But
there's something. It's kind of like we can agree to disagree on a lot of things, except like racism or you know, women's rights, and that's about it. We can disagree on every other thing, but like
I think
things like that, we can't.
I think
be
that's
friends.
fair. I think that's fair because there's certain things that just
now you're speaking to your character.
you have to, yeah. But the character thing too, like that's a long conversation I'll pay too. But just it is very nuanced. I think everything, even racism, even women's rights, I feel like it's all nuanced. I don't, and I'm gonna end with this, or with this thought. Well, not end, but this could be close to the wrap up because I want to talk about this. So
Yeah.
we spoke on it a little bit earlier. Let me ask this question first. Do you believe that black men do a good job as a whole? Take the entire climate. Don't just take Bobby, Ryan, and me. Just take the entire climate. Do you think black men do a good job at protecting black women?
Yes.
You do?
I'm not with the man bashing, especially black man bashing. He can never get me on that train because I know good black men. You know, like I'm not gonna just lump everybody all in and paint them with a brush.
Because I was having a conversation with my homegirl, but I will say this though.
There are psychos out there, yes.
There are a lot of, like Ryan was saying, we was watching the video earlier, like there are a lot of beta males pretending to be alpha male or barking like alpha males, and what that means is not like an alpha male is not just about who has the most testosterone, who's the loudest, who's the rah. It's just about being, first off, fully confident in who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being able to know what your purpose is, walking in that purpose. Like, those are, like, you're focused, you're locked in. Like, that's about being an alpha male. You got a lot of niggas that do the rah, but really aren't, you know what I'm saying, focused, don't know where they want to go. They fly. And I think a lot of those men are becoming louder. You know, so I think that makes women feel like niggas don't give a fuck. But I believe, like I said, I was talking to one of my homegirls. She was like, "Yeah, y'all are trash."
See, and that's the thing, and that's why I feel like I also have like kind of a, because I haven't been in the dating game for 12 years. Like, I don't know how. All I know is what I know.
Right.
And what I know is that there are good men around me anyway. So I think it's about who you surround yourself with. Because you can find some trash ones, but if you always go into where you find the trash ones, all you're going to find is the trash ones.
And this is the thing, too, what people got to realize. A lot of times what you attract, and people don't want to say this, a lot of times what you attract is what you deserve. And people don't want to take that with them, but that's real. Like, if you believe that you're on the level where you should get this type of man, then they will be coming to you if that's where you were. You know what I'm saying? If they're not, then you're not there. Well, for whatever, it might not be financially. It might be mentally, emotionally. It might just be something that's keeping you from getting there. Me in the same way. If all you deal with is hoes and you know what I'm saying, women always in your pockets and using you and simping you, that's because that's what you are, really.
You get what you attract, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you welcome the drama and you know, just you cool with dealing with dudes who got 15 baby mamas and all that stuff, you gonna think that most men are trash because you're dealing with this one man who's in this very peculiar, you know, situation,
right?
But not all men are like that. And then, I think a few of my friends, they've shared with me this criteria that they have to have to get with a dude, and I'm just like, what about, does he like love you? Like, that's like nowhere on the list. It's like, it's all these, like, he has to make this amount of money, he has to have this credit score, he got to be tall, he got to, you know, have all his teeth, he got to, okay, you got to have all your teeth. That's pretty low bar.
Like, some superficial things I get, but some things are like, do they have, when I tell folks I don't have a type, it's like physically I've dated all type of shapes. But there is a type for me too. I've realized that over there. It's more about her energy, like their personality. Like, I have a type. Yeah. I don't like ultra sensitive girls that I can't say nothing to. You know what I'm saying? Because everything I say gonna be, you hurt my feelings. I can't deal with that. Cause I can tone it down, but I can't turn it off. I don't know how to. So you gonna have to be like it's just certain things. Like, you got to be willing to share your time, share your, you know, it's certain things that I do pick up on. But like the physical, superficial shit is, because at the end of the day, I seen my parents married for 40 years. How old am I? 30, yeah. So they 10 years before me. So yeah, I've seen my parents married 40 years. Well, only 30, but they've been married 40 years. And I've seen what they started out looking like. And no, this is
no, you're right though. You're right.
Gravity happens.
My daddy looked shit like he did when he was. My daddy looked like me when he was 40, 50. Well, nah, I ain't gonna say 50, but 40, like 10 years older than I am. Yeah. My daddy don't look shit like that now. Yeah, my mama actually has gravity. Actually, my mom has actually kind of reversed it lately. Like, she had gained some weight during the years, but now she looking good now. But you know what I'm saying? I understand, like, that shit is gonna change. Like,
and then when you're both old, you're gonna be like little hunchbacks anyway.
That shit's gonna change. Like, weight's gonna fluctuate as we get older.
True.
Like, it's just
I just started being able to put my wedding band back on this week because my finger isn't the same size it was when I was 25 and not had 2 kids. Like,
yeah, it's gonna change. Yeah, it's gonna change. It's gonna have to.
I'm not getting a new ring anyway. In a new one.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, no, I do think black men do a great job of protecting black women. I feel like I just don't like the broad brush painting because I don't want men to do that to women.
Women, for sure.
Because we're not all like hyper emotional, and that's the thing. Like, another thing about corporate America, just being a black woman in the tech space, I'm constantly having to prove that I know what I'm talking about. And if
I see my mom
if men didn't broad brush paint us, I wouldn't have to do that. If they didn't think that all we were good at doing is like being secretaries, or
assistance, clerical.
Yeah, like and, there's no possible way this girl knows how to code. There's no way that this girl knows how to, talk to a database or get two computers to talk to each other or do anything like that. Like, you remember what I did when I was at Vulcan? Mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about networking, and they just threw me down in the basement with a bunch of old computers and switches and routers and said, make these computers talk to each other. And I did. They gave me a book that taught me about IP addresses and packets and protocols, and I figured it out. And I just feel like that's another thing I'm not going to teach my kids. Like, you're both capable of whatever. Like, you're not capable of just man things. You're not capable of just woman things. Both of y'all are capable. And them having that outlook is going to help them be able to go out and participate in life more effectively. Mm-hmm. My son's not going to look at women like all they can do is one thing. And vice versa. Right. Like, so that's why
Cook my dinner.
Yeah. I think, I don't know what it is about with women these days, honestly, like with the man bashing. I don't know. I can never get with it. Sometimes it comes up in our group chat, and I'm just like, I don't know, because no, I'm not dating guys or whatever, but I don't be around like shitty dudes. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
What to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, not all of them are married. You know what I'm saying? I don't just be around married dudes. And so it's just like, I don't know. The dudes I know are pretty decent. I don't know they don't make six figures, or no, they don't drive a Benz, or they're just regular dudes. And I feel like y'all are just looking for something that don't exist, or they're probably already married.
Oh, I was say if they do, and if you got to listen, Kevin Samuels will bring this up too. And I know women hate when you bring up Kevin Samuels, but one thing that he does always say is he just tries to really give you perspective. He might come off real harsh, but if you dig through all that. I don't watch him as much anymore, but when he was popular and all this shit was everywhere, I had to watch it. He would always make sure, if ask you what you expect, and then tell you what you expect, what the percentages of niggas is that make what you expect, and he gonna tell you that if I'm a 8% rarity in this world, I'm gonna choose the rarest woman too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just, and I know that might be superficial, and some women like, well, that shouldn't be. Well, look what you asking for. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? While there be women on there barely making $20,000-$30,000 a year, want 6-figure niggas. Like, what he gonna do with you? Right. Yeah. I mean, he can't even. If he wanted to just, and he used this example one time. He said if he just wanted to go take you, or fly you out, and have you come chill with him for a couple of days or something, you got to make sure you get off work, do it. Like, you can't even you can't even move
the way 6-figure men.
Yeah, most 6-figure men like. You got some that work just good jobs and make six, but most of them like entrepreneurs or other things, like they have their time to themselves and they kind of negotiate their own time. They don't have to be confined to he was just like, shit, like how you expect that to be what you want, like that's what you got to offer. Yeah, and he'll do that to men too though. Like we was watching him, he was telling the man like, can you really afford a child? And you make $24,000 a year, like you broke as fuck. That's what he told. He told him, man, you broke as fuck. Yeah. Like you can't.
You can take care of a kid. They're just not gonna have. They're not gonna have the best, which is what you always trying to give your kid. Yeah, you can go drop him off at your grandma's house for free. You ain't gotta take him to the best daycare where they're actually like learning stuff. Yeah. So.
It can be done.
You can do it, but it's gonna be harder, and because the kid don't know. They know what you expose them to. Right. Like Joe now has been wearing a mask for half her life. She think this is the status quo. Yeah. She don't know no different, and so and Henny, that's all he gonna know. And so kids they adapt and they'll do, and they'll make do with whatever you give them, but it'll be hard. It'll definitely be hard for both of y'all to eat because the kids Joe eating all that stuff.
Lord.
I'll be like, oh, you still hungry? You so little.
Kids eat.
I try to tell women all the time. I think that's really the biggest thing keeping me from really trying to find my one right now. Is that not that I can't afford it. I might have the money to pay all the bills, but I ain't gonna have the time. Because if I'm spending all that time doing this for the house, then how am I still building my business? Like this, I'm in a transition from where I've been working for companies for the last 5-6 years now to where I'm working for myself. That's a totally different lifestyle. Yeah, that's a totally different lifestyle too. Like when you work these jobs, like it's easier to do your budget when you know what you bringing in every 2 weeks. Regardless, as long as you clock in, it's a little different now, and I like everything I kind of make is based off what I do, what I put out there. So I try to tell folks like let me get to a better place, a more stable place, and if she can get that, then I'm cool with that. I ain't just trying to string you along, baby. I'm just let me get here. You feel me? In the meantime, if you want to do your thing, I'm gonna do mine, and like that's just how I am right now.
Yeah. I mean, when me and Bobby first got together, I was the breadwinner, and now he makes more than me. So if I had let like how much he makes stop me from being with him, then that then I would have missed out on this person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it doesn't matter because we put it all in one big pot and enjoy it anyway.
Right, it's supposed to. Yeah.
Like we just went to Miami.
If I say Miami,
nuts
with the Quest chips.
Oh my god! Like that man. Just being able to sleep for 13 hours straight.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of jealous.
I know you were. That's why I put it out there. I wanted to make all the people who had kids.
I was happy, but I was jealous.
Yes, I was just the first night we got there. We ate at the little restaurant that was at the hotel. Went to the pool. Came back. Passed out. Did not wake up again until like 10 the next morning. It was great. Like, I don't
Life goals.
I don't sleep. I wake up before the sun every day. This dude wakes up because he goes to bed at like 8 o'clock every night. I can't do that. I don't know how he does that. I be having shit to do. Like I'm taking a class now that starts at 9 o'clock at night because it's a global class. So I'm taking a class with people in Australia, France. Wow. So we all on different time zones. But my time zone, the class started at 9 o'clock at night. And so yeah, I wish I could go to bed at 9, but I'm up with this new. Well, he's not newborn. When are they not newborns?
That's a good question.
Yeah, baby. He's 5 months.
In my book, when they turn 1, they're no longer a newborn.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not the gospel, though. That's just how
I guess, well, I would say once they not in newborn clothes, but my baby skipped straight up out of newborn. He went straight to 3 month clothes. Yeah, he was in newborn clothes maybe for the first week.
Man.
Yeah, he's huge. But anywho, yeah, man, I just, I think you got to get past the superficial stuff in order to find your person. You got to.
And I know that's hung me up a few times in the past. I like she ain't quite this. Sex has, and I know folks be like that shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be, but it should.
No, it is. Sex is totally important in a relationship. I'm sorry. Anyone who says it's not is totally lying. Yeah. And cause sex, honestly, if you break it down, like I was about to say reading. I'm listening to an audiobook, Atomic Habits. And it basically breaks down like how to build habits based on your nature, like a human instinctive nature, like things that we do from like primitive times, how they can be applied to make better habits. And I think sex is one of those things. Sex is like primitive, right? It's all about survival. And so it's like baked into you. And we've just come up with ways to make it more exciting. But it's all about like procreating and longevity and creating the biggest tribe for survival. Right. So I feel like you're always going to have that instinct regardless of how, even if y'all sleep in 2 separate beds, like you're going to have that instinct to come together at some point. And I feel like you got to be realistic about that. Like you can't say that it's not important because it is. Yeah.
But I think as the older I've gotten, I can teach certain things. As long as, let me make sure I say this right. As long as the quality of cat is okay.
How do I say this right?
As long as the quality of cat is of the part, certain things, because I like certain things done a certain way, so it's just like, but I had to realize like Mike, she probably was having sex with another guy who may like it this way. Like I've run across women who like certain things done a certain way. Yeah. So like I know like now like, well, just because she might not do this like I like it, that's not something to be like, oh, we can work through that. As long as the quality is there.
As long as she's not trying to pig you.
Exactly. As long as none of that's going on. Yeah. That's funny. Quality over quantity. That's what we at now. So
good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're not all about the conquest anymore.
Nah. Right. Not most times. Sometimes being single, you know what I'm saying, I don't have that one. So sometimes I get those needs where I just need to get off, and you don't want to just watch porn. You just want to actually, so it's just, that's the only time. Like I've heard a girl say, like, stop using me to masturbate, basically.
Do you think porn distorts your
very
much?
Very much so. I mean, yeah, I know it does.
How it should be, I guess.
I know it does. I know it does. Like I said, like when I was really into my prime, a lot of women would be like, you know, you just fucking me, right? Like we ain't having,
No
yeah,
emotional
ain't
connection.
no like real, like they want to feel that.
Just
and
a
I'm
body.
just, yeah, and I'm just like I said, I've been told that a girl like basically put it like, don't use me to masturbate. Like I just feel like you just masturbate with me. I'm like, damn, like you think I just,
Harsh.
yeah, like
That is
damn,
harsh.
you think it just,
Wow.
you think I just, but for so long, porn and certain things that happened to me in relationships made it to be like, well, shit, this is all I need to do. And this is because I definitely don't want to get my heart into it. So it's like, shit,
It's that
there
fear
you
of
go.
being vulnerable.
Yeah, that's what I know. I tell folks that's what it is.
I think maybe that's a survival instinct as well. Like,
I think so.
If you're vulnerable out here in the jungle, you get
Feel
ate.
me? All the time. All the time. And it's a jungle.
It is
out
a
here.
jungle.
It's a jungle out there.
Yeah, I think that may be just an instinctual thing too.
Yeah, I think very much so. But like I said, it's something I'm trying to work through. Like I'm definitely knowing like my toxic traits are not the best. You know what I'm saying? Even
Well, self-awareness is one of those things too that you gain as you get older.
Yes. Yes.
So that's good. You know, you realize that maybe that's something that's preventing you from having like meaningful connections with people.
right now
You
until
working on
I'm
it,
ready.
instead of
yeah,
just
yeah.
continuing your toxicity
Right.
until you're 80 years old
Right.
and never having that reflection.
But sometimes that comes from listening to though. So when a girl like if niggas keep telling the girl the same thing, then bitch, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not trying, but like that's what it is. If females keep telling me, Mike, I can sense no emotion, cause just because you have passion don't mean you got emotion.
Yeah.
Like, that's two different things. I can
Yeah.
have passion, but
Yeah.
would not be connected at all. Like after I'm getting up, smoke a blunt, well, I need to be ready to go. Type deal. Like that's something that I had to start really listening to. I couldn't just be like, oh, well, she tripping. She too sensitive. Like, I'm like, damn, okay. The first one, maybe she might have been too sensitive. Damn, another one? Oh, okay. Nah, they both just sensitive. Oh, another one? Oh, okay. Maybe it is me. Yeah, like maybe it's really me. Like, we got to be able to listen to that, too. Stop just every time somebody tells you, even if it's something that you don't want to hear, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you can either choose to reject it, and if it's something that's not that doesn't apply to you, it is not applicable, let it go. But if it's something that when you hear it, it's like, it strikes a nerve, you probably need to like take a deeper look into it. And that's what I'm learning. Like if somebody says something and it strikes a nerve in me, I might need to see why it struck that nerve.
Yeah.
Going back to the Boosie, if something that Lil Nas X do every time it strikes a nerve with him, you might need to look into why does that strike a nerve. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Most definitely.
I think that's
That's called self-awareness,
Yeah.
which so many people lack.
I'm working on
So
it.
many people.
I ain't there yet, but I'm working on it.
It's just like simple stuff. Like when I'm at the gym, it's like the lack of self-awareness that men are allowed to have is just amazing. Like I'll be on a machine and I'll look up and it's like 4 niggas staring at me. And I'm like, now, if
You like that? You like
No, I
that?
know.
You like
No, I know.
Aisha Curry.
Nah,
Even
no.
Aisha said she want the looks.
Because,
I want the
dude,
looks.
I'm in there like sweating, like disgusting, right? And not even I'm not in there to attract nobody, but I'm just like I'm in there focused. I'm in the zone. I'm in there to work out and leave. But I'm doing stuff sometimes that if you're staring at me while I'm doing it, it makes me uncomfortable. Like it's certain machines that you be on where you gotta move your legs a certain way, you gotta bend over. It's like, and if you staring at me, if you had any self-awareness, you probably realized that it was
They probably make her
5 other
uncomfortable,
niggas
yeah.
staring at me too. So maybe let me not be one of those 5 dudes just staring at her.
Yeah.
And so like,
I don't even talk to women in the gym. I talked to a girl that was big, real heavy on the working out, and that was one of her pet peeves. Is like, I hate when niggas try to talk to me at the gym. Like I'm in the gym to work.
I'm in here to work out.
Yeah.
Hopefully
out and leave.
hopefully I am too.
Yeah.
Now if I see something in there, I might try to catch it outside or something, or catch it. That's the one thing about me too. Like I really truly believe that dime a dozen thing. So it's like if I don't get to get that one, it's another one out that I can get. Like, I ain't never really been the type that's so pressed to just get everyone. Oh, I gotta get every. Oh, she like me too. I don't gotta do that. So I think that's something that helps me. Like when I'm in the gym and I see something I like, just kind of admire, but then just go on by my day.
if we like you, we're gonna lock eyes and stare at you. We're gonna make it known.
Yeah.
But if not, then
Just
let
let it go.
weird.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's some men, especially the ones that be in the gym like that are like really in the gym. They'll come in there, and if they don't command the attention of every woman in there, they
feel some
head
type of way,
explode.
yeah.
Like they don't know what to do. Like they will go out of their way to like walk in front of you, walk around you, get your attention. I'm just like, bro, I'm trying to look everywhere but you. Can you not take the hint? Like it's the self-awareness. I'll go back. Look, just relax. Just go in there, work out. If someone looks at you, if y'all exchange eye contact, then yeah, maybe talk. But otherwise, don't be weird. Just try not to be weird, guys. Okay. There are a lot of weird men. I've been cornered in like gas stations, trying to get me to give him my number or me to give him my number.
Your number.
Yeah.
Cornered.
Like would not let me leave the gas station until I gave him my phone.
That shit weird.
It's scary.
Wow.
It's scary out here. There are dudes that do weird shit like that. So just don't be one of them.
For real.
Don't be one of them. Like teach your friends to deal with rejection.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, there are
Teach your sons to deal with rejection.
Yes, yeah. Like that.
Sure.
That fragile masculinity thing is real. Because these dudes, like those dudes that attacked that woman outside that bodega somewhere, the liquor store somewhere. It was online. That's why I got off social media. I have to give myself a break from that. From ingesting that stuff.
Yeah, it's so much.
Yeah, they was like, I'll buy you this alcohol, and she was like, no thanks. And they like attacked her outside the liquor store.
I saw a story the other day where a girl was
like grown men.
I saw a story the other day where a girl was on the back of a motorcycle with her boyfriend. Dude pulled up, was trying to holler at her. I'll holler at her. She told him no, and he shot her in the leg.
Yeah.
Like that shit. I'm like, hold on, bro. Like, I be feeling like that's so like if for every action there's an opposite and equal or even greater reaction. That's science. Mm-hmm. And I take that in life too. Like, if that dude were to pull up and the dude on the motorcycle just pulled out a gun and shot him in his head, I feel like he would have been justified. I mean, not by law, but like that's very disrespectful. Like you see her with a nigga, like what would even make you feel like you had the right to like niggas
one of those
cutthroat?
Men.
Yeah,
you're one of those men who think that every woman is theirs, even if they're with physically somebody other dude at the time.
Talk. I don't play that shit.
Yeah.
Now if you see me like, no, don't disrespect, cause now you disrespecting me.
Right.
If you see her out somewhere and you don't know that's mine, that's different. But if you see her, no, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
I've been liable and just really hauled off and tried to do something to your ass for real. Like I don't play about that shit. That's disrespectful as hell. I wouldn't do that to nobody in their face. Mm-hmm. That's disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah. Men are crazy though.
But yeah, men really, I see that. But look.
Oh, sorry. I thought the gag is that's why I like Bobby so much because he's crazy, and I know he'll like if that's it in that situation he'd like.
Yeah, like that shit crazy.
Right, and so like that's kind of reassuring.
Y'all want that. Y'all want that. Y'all want that for real. Y'all just don't want them to be crazy towards y'all.
Exactly.
It's control crazy.
Right, exactly.
You want a nigga little off in the head because you gotta be sometimes.
Right.
Yeah,
I want him to be crazy about me, not towards me.
I feel you. No, that's real. That's real. That's real. Well, this has been such a great convo. I can't get out of here though. Today is September 11th, and I just want everybody to remember that all buildings matter.
Yeah.